We're live. We're live. Hello, hello, hello. Let's see. Who do we have already here? I know we've got like 3 people. Let's see. We have, of course, Garden to Table with Heather Lynn. Hello. I don't know. It says we've got 4 in here, which is a nice start. Let's take a look. All right. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and say hello. Oh, we got David Gray. How are you? Excuse me. I had some ice cream after dinner and, hey, we got Outdoors with Big Matt. We got David Gray. We got Garden Table with Heather Lynn. Yay, this is going to be a fun night. Yahoo. All right. So why do I have StreamYard's thing on there? All right. Oh, my auntie's here. Hi, Auntie. Mwah. Ronnie Weaver, hello, how are you? All right, so we're taking off here. All right. So tonight I have a special guest. I know last week we had some technical difficulties. We'll get Sarah from the Big House Homestead back here another night. Barb's Country Home, hello. Garden to Table with Heather Lynn, 61 subscribers. That's awesome. You just hit 50 the other day. Whoop, whoop. All right. All right. Way to grow. All right. Anyway, like I said, so we have a special guest tonight. We have the Suburban Gardenista channel here, and we're going to talk about things like native plants in your garden, which is something that I want to focus on when I do eventually get my own property, is to have native plants and things like that to encourage the native pollinators, because everybody, how everybody says the bees are in danger and all of that, and they are, but it's not the ones you're thinking of. The European honeybee, the way that we care for them in the US, the way we have tons of apiaries for the European honeybee here, they're not going to be in trouble. What we are having problems with is the native pollinators. Like here in New England, we've got sweat bees, bumblebees. Those are very important pollinators for us. So I'm going to bring up our special guest. And here she is. And we did test the sound and all of them, the connection, and we're going to be good to go. So hello, Brandy, introduce yourself.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but it's coming across all garbled, but I don't know if that could be me.
Okay. Somebody in the chat, tell me if you can hear me.
That's better.
Yeah? Okay. All right.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to chat today. This is my very first live chat. I have watched a couple recorded ones. I'm not really good at being right on the dot to watch them live, but I have watched many lives after the fact and enjoyed the conversation. So I'm very happy to be here. And yes, I am Brandy, and I am the Suburban Gardenista. So I have started this little hobby YouTube channel, and I started off kind of sharing some tips about gardening, and then I've gone all gung-ho on native plant gardening, and I'm really keen on it. And so I'm going to be kind of switching my focus a little bit more on native plants and sharing kind of just native plants that work in the suburban context, because I think some people kind of get this perspective that they're going to go wild and crazy and that they can't work for native plant gardening. And so I'm just going to kind of keep on experimenting and share my experiments as I go. And I'm not a professional. I'm not a horticulturalist. I am a regular homegrown gardener. And I'm just kind of sharing my experiences with others because I really love to learn and I love to share with others. And I feel like there has been an awakening in my mind recently. And so I'm just trying to share that with folks that might be able to kind of learn from it as well.
Awesome. For like, I've never been on a live, and I don't know if I'm going to say it. You're got a spiel right there. It's great.
Nice. Good start.
Yeah, I'm going to quickly say hi to some of my new people in the chat. I saw Barb. Let's see. My Auntie Elaine is here. Double D Chicks and Stuff Homestead. Hello. Frugal Mom Down Under is here. Black's Tropical Homestead. Oh, and doing the mods work, putting the channel right in there.
Thank you. I just subscribed to you guys the other day, so that's perfect. Thank you very much. Yes, I have a whole 440 subscribers as of today.
Nice.
And I just started the YouTube channel about a year and a half ago, and just started an Instagram channel as well. And I just started that in the fall, and I've got a couple 170 or 80 or so. And so yeah, I see there's a following, so I'm kind of excited to keep it going, and people are encouraging. And so, yeah, I'm just going with it and really enjoying it. And I'm really loving how there's so much support out there. Like this live, you guys are all supportive of each other, and it's just making me want to participate more. And it's just so nice. So yeah, I'm going to keep going until, I don't know. I feel like I could do this forever. So like gardening, I mean, talking about it, I could gab along forever as well, but
right. Oh God, we're obsessed. We are all obsessed. That's why we're all in this chat right now. Hello, Rebecca Davis at Touched by Yarn. Hello. I hear you're putting up your first video soon. So excited. Black's Tropical Homestead can't keep up with Facebook and Instagram.
It's a lot. It can take over.
Yeah. My kids ask me, well, why don't you do TikTok and Twitter too? And I'm like, I have as much as I can handle right now.
That's right. Yeah. I feel like this is enough for me right now. I feel like Instagram is a nice balance because I get to be able to share I take so many pictures of plants, and I don't just like pull up my phone and start showing them off to my friends when I'm with them, so it's a nice outlet to share those kind of pictures. And there's so many different people who are responding it's totally different than YouTube, where YouTube, there's not as much conversation. And for my YouTube channel anyway, I don't get as much conversation with people. I encourage it. So if anybody out there is watching any of my videos and you have ideas on how to improve things, or tips for other people that maybe I didn't mention, then please, by all means, add it to the comments. Like, that's my whole thing. We can all learn from each other, and that's why I'm doing this. It's not like I'm saying I'm the most professional gardener of all time and you shall listen to me. It's more that we can all do this and we can all learn from each other.
Yes. That's awesome. And I'll tell you, the YouTube community that I've found out there, like, so after this, like tomorrow on my community page, I'm going to be like, oh, hey, Suburban Gardenista just needs, how many subscriptions to get to 500 and get their community tab. And the community will rally round. I don't know if we can get you there just off of me, but get you a few.
Grateful. Yeah, I love the idea of the community tab. I thought I had to get to 1,000 for that. So that's kind of exciting that
they changed it in October.
Oh, that's great news. Wonderful.
Which is great. They announced it like the week after I got 500, and I'm like, well, in a month I'm gonna have a lot more than, like, I'd already gotten 500, and I'm like, oh well, now they give it to me. I had 500 2 months ago.
Well, I will learn about that soon, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
So yeah. All right. So I have seen your playlist with all the native plants that you were growing in your garden. Do you want to talk about a little bit about those? I have never I'd never heard of an obedient plant until, but it was very pretty.
Actually, I think that might be the first native plant that I got. I started my gardens from absolute scratch. I've had 2 houses along the way, and both houses had absolutely no gardens. And so I grew up in a home that had tons of gardens, and I totally took it for granted, and, was just happy that my mom had these beautiful gardens and took care of them, and didn't really pay much attention to the different plants and et cetera. And so then I got these houses, and I was like, well, I'm missing some gardens, and I had to kind of learn along the way. And I've kind of been a collector of whatever anybody has that they want to give to me, I'm willing to take. And so that's how it all kind of got started. And then I learn about the plants as they go. Anyhow, an obedient plant is one of the early native plants that I got. And I'm telling you, it is the native plants. Once you bring them into your garden, you really see the creatures that come for them. It's totally different. I've learned recently that plants are picky. Bugs, insects, caterpillars, butterflies, bees, they're very picky. They don't just go for anything. There's some insects, butterflies, etc., that are very species specific. And so if you want to attract more beautiful creatures into your garden, then the more diversity that you have, the more native plants that are home to the species that are living in your environment, the more you'll attract them. And so obedient plant, I'm telling you, the creatures that have come to this plant have been so interesting and beautiful. I'm in the garden one day and I heard this buzzing and I was like, oh, that's got to be a hummingbird. And so I'm like, oh, I'm really excited. I'm going to see a hummingbird in my garden. And it was this creature, which maybe you guys are all familiar with, but it's a hummingbird hawk moth. And so it was this.
I've seen those. They're huge.
And they're beautiful. And they're this, it's a moth that mimics a hummingbird, so that the creatures that would normally eat moths don't eat them. So they're a smart creature. But anyhow, these new insects that are coming to my garden are so interesting to me and also to my children too. So I feel like, it's pulling in interest, not just for myself, but for my whole family, that there's these new creatures that are coming. We've got butterfly milkweed in our garden, which is native in Ontario.
Growing that this year.
Chunk. Yeah, great. It's native for a huge chunk of North America. And as people may be aware of, monarch butterflies will only host their caterpillars, their eggs, on milkweed plants. And so the butterfly milkweed is a great plant for suburbia. It doesn't go bonkers. It has a long taproot, so it kind of stays where you put it. And I got the caterpillars for the monarch right in my garden, and it was just so exciting. And they grew, and they were big, chubby little creatures. And it's so fascinating, the new creatures that are coming to my garden and the difference that I see in the pollinators with respect to the native plants versus the plants that are not native to my area it's dramatic. You can see a significant difference. So I've kind of had this eye-opening recently. And frankly, I kind of feel like, why isn't it the norm? I've come to this aha, but I feel like this should just be what's available. And, I'm finding that it's not that easy. And to find native plants for your area, it takes a little bit of research. It takes a little bit of work. You kind of need to find native plant nurseries that are within your area. When we talk about native plants, it's not just native plants to me are the same as native plants to you, that each native plant has its own native geographical area. And so you kind of need to do some research. Like I'm in Ontario in Canada, and Southern Ontario. And even in Ontario, there might be some plants that are native to Southern Ontario where I am, but they're not native to Northern Ontario, or vice versa. And so you can't just assume that when you say, oh, this is a native plant, well, it's a native plant only to a certain area. So it takes a little bit of research. And yeah, I'm finding that it's not like you can just go to the garden store and get any plant. And that, even some of the native plants, or even some of the plants that you might learn to be native, there might be hybrid varieties of these plants that are sold in the garden centers. And so I've learned some little tricks along the way or not even tricks, just maybe tricky things along the way that have I've been like, yes, I've got this native plant. And I knew that asters were native. So I went and got some asters. And then I, ask a question to this native plant group that I'm in. And they're like, no, that's not a native plant. That's a cultivar and it's pretty much useless. And I'm like, all right, then. Never mind. So, I've hit some roadblocks. Hi, Brampton Gardener. I wanted to say I'm also from Brampton. So your tagline snagged me right away. So I've been following you since I found you a long, long time ago, when you had only a few subscribers, and now you're just, skyrocketing up there. So
yeah, her channel has gone crazy in the last month and a half.
I know. Good job.
Right around New Year's Eve, we were just trying to get her to the 500, and now she's just about got 800.
I know.
That's crazy.
It's great. Yeah, it's really exciting to see all these YouTubers that are all kind of, we're all kind of just starting out or in different phases, but it's nice to kind of connect to everybody. And then just, I get so happy when I see people like, just going up there, and I'm like, well, maybe one day I will too.
Yep. It's, so Black's Tropical Homestead here, they went from starting their channel to last week or maybe the week before, being monetized in
Woo!
4 months.
What? What'd
4
you
months.
guys do? You showed skin, didn't you?
They're doing different. They're doing something different. Like, they're doing the homesteading thing, but when they say Black's Tropical Homestead, they're not kidding. Like, there's like, all these bananas and passion fruit, and it's like, so it's different. So it's definitely attracting a lot of people who are like, oh, that's cool. That's different. I want to know all about that. And I'm one of those people.
Well, that's wonderful. It's so exciting. It's so funny. Sometimes I'll do these videos and I'll be like, oh, this is going to be the one. And it doesn't fly. And then you do another video where you're like, oh, well, people probably know how to do that already. And then that one goes bonkers. So I have not figured out YouTube for sure.
Me
But
either.
that's okay.
I
feel,
said, my number one video is the naked gardening video.
Oh, I've seen that. I've been thinking about what to do for this year, how to be creative. And yeah, you got me good.
All I can say is that with the amount of people that have watched it, I wish I had made it longer. Because it's only 3.5 minutes. And 7,000 views later, I could be monetized off that one video. Black's Tropical. We're just weird people, like most weird folks, and that's why we vibe, because
good.
I am so weird. I'm so weird.
I'm there.
Like, you don't even know. So, yep. Well, and not only that, they're super fun. Like their energy just like brings you in. So it's no wonder that they're doing very well.
Yeah. It's funny because you think about what might draw more people to enjoy your videos and to connect to what you're talking about, and then like, I don't know how far I want to push myself. Sometimes I try to do something funny and I'm like, oh.
Oh my God, Kirsten, I want to make a bad joke, but I can't. It's a family show. But my friend sells for Athena, and that's what she calls her Facebook group. So
what is it?
My friend sells for a direct sales company called Athena.
Oh.
Oh. And that's what she calls it, is her vibe tribe.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll consider the options.
She's like, do it. Make the joke.
Okay, buddy girl.
Now we need Leanne from Mennonite Farmhouse to pop up here with her beaver.
Yeah.
So
I bet she has a nice.
Just saying. Yeah.
Back to the exciting topic of native plant gardening. And so this is it, right?
That's how it goes.
The point is that it's like, it's like a niche thing, but not niche in the kinky kind of way to draw that kind of audience. So it's kind of like you do these videos and, I'm like, oh, this is going to be super helpful. And then you get a couple, of, views, and you're like, I thought this was going to be helpful. So, I'm trying to, I feel like I'm on the cusp of like an information wave, like that people, I feel that when people learn about native plant gardening or invasive plants, it's like an aha moment. And then all of a sudden you realize, wait, I'm not doing this right. And then, you kind of think, well, wait a minute. Like, I've been gardening for a long time now, and I've only recently had this awakening. And I feel like when you think about like native plant gardening, you either have people who are like gung ho, they're like only native plants or burn it all down, or people who don't know about it at all. And then they're like, no, those are weeds. We don't want that in our yard. And so I'm trying to fit in this like middle ground to kind of share this. There are so many plants that can benefit the local ecosystem, that can benefit your garden. The more pollinators you bring into your garden, the more they'll benefit your vegetable plant gardens as well. Because even some of the pollinators that pollinate your vegetables are species specific. So they might be picky, and they might, benefit from all of the native plants that you have in your garden are only going to draw in more insects that are only going to draw in more beautiful butterflies and then more birds. And it's just going to, if nothing more, do it for those things that you want to pull into your garden. You know what I mean? Like our weeds, right? Like this terminology of weeds, like, oh, well, I don't want those in my garden. Those are the weeds.
My definition for weed has become any plant that is not in a place where you want it. So like, I don't care when I eventually do have my property, I would love my like lawn space because, a lot of people are like, we should do away with front lawns and blah, blah, blah. No, I want my lawn space. I want my clear being able to run around and do stuff in the yard space. But my thought is wild violet, white clover, dandelions everywhere. Like probably a whole lot of purslane because that's just everywhere here. But, so it's a low growing, they're pretty, they're, native plants, and it's going to help the soil. I love that idea. That's my plan.
Yeah, absolutely. Like to learn about whatever's growing in your grass that you like, if you're somebody that's like, I need a lawn, I want a lawn, then good on you. Like, well, you do you, right? I actually ended up asking a question in one of my native plant groups about a lawn, and I nearly got eaten up. Like and this is just is that there's people who are like all for it, and but it was in a native plant group. But I wanted to know, what can I do if I'm going to have a lawn? What can I do to my lawn in order to make it more friendly for the natural ecosystem? If I'm going to have a lawn, so little things that I've learned along the way, you don't need the entire lawn that you have, and you can break your lawn down into smaller gardens, border gardens, whatever gardens you can incorporate, maybe a little prairie meadow, little patch kind of thing, whatever works for you. But even within the lawn itself, allowing those weeds to grow, anytime there's violets in my yard, I'm good. We're good. Just leave them there. If a violet grows I've got violets all over the place. And so if
I'll eat them too.
Yeah, right. What was it?
I'll eat them.
Yeah, they're edible. I know, it's not crazy.
Yeah, the flowers and stems are edible. So why not?
Yeah, why not?
They're delicious, nice and spicy, kind of like a radish.
Oh, good to know. Okay, well, I might have to try that myself. Yeah, anyhow, I have some neighbors. I find that there are some people that have just been doing things the way that they've been doing for their entire life. And they've got this kind of concept that your grass needs to be perfectly green, perfectly manicured the whole way. And I feel kind of like I stick out like a sore thumb in my neighborhood because this is definitely the norm where I live. And so I don't water my lawn. I just let it do its thing. I let whatever grows there naturally kind of come in, the violets especially. And I've got my neighbors being like, why don't I make my weeds? And I'm like, this is the way I'd like it. So, and I encourage you to do the same. I don't say that, but I'm trying to. And anyhow, yeah, so I'll move those violets to other spots if they're in a spot where I don't want them to. I will never get rid of a native. Yeah, look, agreed. Clover, violets, make it barefoot friendly. Yeah, clover, where I am from, is not actually a native plant, but even though it's not native, you don't need to water it as much. So it kind of brings in that ecological benefit that you don't have to be wasting the water on all the grass or cutting it and mowing it with a gas lawnmower and all that kind of thing. So I love the clover in my grass, and maybe I'll learn differently later, but right now I think it's great.
Yeah. Or like this Black's Tropical Homestead, why mow it when you can grow it? Right. And I just want to say hi to a couple of people who popped in that I didn't get to say hi to yet. Bluegrass Bound. I've thrown a few of your comments already up here, but hello. They call me Sunshine. Nice to see you. David Gray, I have problems with my neighbor about weeds. When I was a kid, actually, I used to take dandelion puff balls and I'd just go running around the neighborhood because I thought it was fun. I'm like, I'm spreading happiness. And all the neighbors were like, can you please tell your kid to stop putting dandelion seeds on our lawn?
Sorry. We would call them wishes, and we would blow them into the air and to
Yep.
our neighbors' discontent. Yeah, I even have so again with the butterfly milkweed, I take a lot of that. I harvest the seeds, and then I put a little video about that if anybody's interested in watching. But I harvest the seeds for butterfly milkweed, and then I'll share them with others, or I'll plant them in other spots, etc. But a few of them I'll leave there. And I live in suburbia, right? And so I'm like, you find yourself a happy home, the wind will take you, and maybe someone will be happy when they find butterfly milkweed in their yard a year or two from now.
Yep. Oh yeah. Well, I have friends here that actually will collect it. Will collect the milkweed pods, and they'll grow it in their yard, and then they'll literally go and find monarch babies, and they'll protect them in a terrarium and grow them and let them go. I found out something interesting last year that the swallowtail butterfly, they their caterpillars will eat things like parsley and dill. But if you take one that's on parsley and like, oh, I want this parsley, and try to move it to something like dill, they won't eat it.
See, they're picky. They're very, very picky. You got to leave them.
If they're laid on it and they start growing on that, they can't eat the other one.
Yeah. Well, and I've heard of people like growing monarchs and whatnot. And I think it's controversial about whether or not that's a benefit to the monarch population, or if it's just more of a benefit to grow the plants that they host their larvae on, and then allow for them to do it naturally. And I think that one of the things that if people are thinking about growing native plants is the bigger the patch of whatever you're growing, the more it will attract the pollinator to it. So, I'm growing my butterfly bush and it's attracted the monarchs, and it's so exciting. But one thing too that you should know is that if you are going to plant host plants for any of the insects, so butterflies or moths or whatever you would like to host, and you are successful and you get the caterpillars on them, they might gobble it right up. So just again, to not kind of have that concept of my garden has to look perfect and pristine. One of the gurus of native plant gardening is Doug Tallamy, and he says if it's not being eaten, then it's not doing its job. So
right,
if you have holes in your plants from native insects that are using your plants for sustenance, then that's a good thing. You're doing your job for the ecosystem by providing that for them, and just let them do it. Don't spray them with pesticide. Don't take them away. Just let them be, and they'll do their thing. And, more interesting creatures will come to see as well. Like maybe the birds will want to eat those caterpillars or whatever they are.
Yeah. One thing I've heard people say is if nothing is eating your plants, then you're not part of the ecosystem, and you're not, you're missing something in the circle. So
yeah, it's really been an eye-opener to me about how little the pollinators will go to other plants that are from other areas in the country, or from other continents, etc. So it's something that I'd really, this is not something that if you'd like to incorporate more native plants into your garden, that you need to just revamp everything right away. Like you can start small. You can start with one plant. If you see a plant, you're like, oh, I'd like to try butterfly weed. That sounds cool. I want to help the monarchs. You just try that, and then you'll get into it. And once you start learning, it's just going to happen. You will naturally, like I'm telling you, if you're a gardener and you start doing this and you start observing, you're going to be hooked. Like it's guaranteed. But you just kind of think about, making small steps along the way, maybe starting a new garden here or there, but you don't need to just take out your lawn and, somehow get a mass influx of wildflower seeds. You can just start with a plant here or there and see how it grows.
And I'm just going to quickly say hello, Daz, my Aussie garden and kitchen. I'm so happy to have you here. Yay. They call me Sunshine. I think everybody did that at least once when they were a kid, probably with the dandelions.
Yeah.
Dandelions seem to bloom even when it's too cold for other things. Yeah, as soon as I see the very first dandelion, I'm like, oh, it's spring. it's spring, it's here. And yeah.
Well, and that's the whole concept of the no mow May, right? For people that have winter like I do, we are covered in snow right now, probably a couple feet deep, probably the Brampton Gardener too. We
We had
any other
26 inches a couple weeks ago, and then we had 3 or 4 inches the other day, just a little bit, but yeah. I like this Brampton Gardener. We had one on our parsley, grew extra dill for them, and it chose the parsley instead, of course.
So it goes, right?
Something ate all your squash seeds. Yes, the Hamilton Library near us. So, Garden to Table with Heather Lynn is local to me. The Hamilton Library hatches monarchs from the children's room. Oh, that's why we bought on a dead end road. Last house. Oh, there we go. Yeah, if nothing is eating your garden, then you're not part of the cycle. That's exactly it. And like I was saying, I thought the no mow thing was for my legs.
It is. You know what? Honestly, like there's some things about gardening that people like so focus on so hard, and it's like, you know what? Make it easy. Like I don't want to mow. No,
Right?
I don't want to have to worry about my husband mowing. No, forget it. I don't want to. I don't want to water. I'm not interested in water. I'm not interested in paying for the water for the lawn. I have my rain barrels. I collect my water and then I water all my flowers. And even them, when you grow a native plant, and like the thing is with native plants, some people think like, oh, well, if it's a native plant, I can just plant it and it'll be fine. But it, like any other plant, they still have the sun requirements, water requirements, soil requirements. So you still have to do a little bit of research. Where do they like to live? And if you have that spot in your property, then you plant it there and it will do fine. It like my butterfly weed, I'm speaking about it again, but it loves dry and sunny. And I've got a spot on the side of my house that, it gets all the sun. It's got super dry soil because it's at the side of my house and I don't want to water it. And it does great there. It's perfect, And, there's lots of native plants that are great for the shade underneath the trees that you're like, oh, I don't know what grows in the shade underneath these pine trees or whatever. Well, there's all sorts of woodland plants. I actually, if anybody is interested in following along on Instagram, I just posted one of the native plant gardeners in my Ontario native plant gardening group posted this picture where he put, I don't know, I want to say like 40 different woodland native plants to Ontario. So it's Ontario, but a lot of them will reach down into the States as well. So do your research. You might recognize a few like Jack in the Pulpit and anemone and wood poppy. I've got some foam flower, which I'm super excited about. I did a little video on foam flower, and it's a nice low growing native plant that is a early spring bloomer that looks it's so pretty. It's got these little white sprigs of little, like almost like stars at the end of it. And so, yeah, there's so many. Like some people think, oh, they're weeds, but there's a ton of beautiful native plants that you can incorporate in your suburban design. And it's something that you can do as like a hybrid model. And that's kind of what I'm going for, is that I'm not growing a meadow. That's not what I'm doing right now. Maybe later on in my life, I'll have meadows everywhere. But right now I've got kind of like a hybrid of, some typical ornamentals like hydrangeas and hostas and stuff like that. And then I've got all these other native plants that I've started incorporating and just loving, like there's some black-eyed Susans. Everybody knows them. They bring happiness to the garden, right?
Yep.
And, but not all of them are native. So to try to really seek out the ones that are native for your area, and coneflowers like the echinacea, it's a near native to me, but again, brings in lots of the pollinators. And blanket flower, it's like a dark yellow, almost like a daisy with bright red in the center. Like there's just some stunning, really beautiful options. So, there's lots out there.
Yeah, coneflowers and echinacea, I think, is a native plant for my area, for New England.
Yeah, I think a lot of them are common between New England and Southern Ontario. Actually, a really helpful resource. I brought some resources here so I could show you guys. But there's, awesome. I just finished this book.
I was going to say, quick break before you introduce your wonderful book. We had a whole bunch of people pop in.
Okay.
I want to go back and say hello to, we got Southern Sown and Grown is here. Hello. Wild and Wonderful Homestead popped in. We got Gear. I don't know. I just call you Gear every time I see you. Audacity Dawning is here. Let's see who. Yeah. Oh, Dandelion Jelly. I've heard is good. My friend makes that.
Yeah, I've heard of that, and wine too, apparently. So I kind of am interested
Yes.
in trying these things out. I heard it tastes a little bit like toasted marshmallows, the jelly, not the wine.
Interesting. And we got Apple Tree Urban Homestead down there in a very, very, very hot Australia, and the air conditioner is still out. Oh, that is no fun. Yeah, it's very, very hot down there where they are right now. Marigold, Spring Happiness, Sunflowers, Zinnias, Quarter Horse Farm. Just seeing who else popped in. Okay, now I'm down at the end of the chat. Been getting excited seeing tiny buds on the elderberries. Yay! It's awesome. Okay, book time.
Oh, sure. Yes. I just got distracted. Butterfly.
Oh, and LP is here. Hello.
So I know a lot of your listeners, they're from all over the world, but for those that are from North America and especially the States, this is a book that I just finished. It's called Bringing Nature Home. It's by Doug Tallamy, who is the the guru of native plant gardening. And in this book, it goes through there's a part all about like New England and like all the native plants that are in New England. And so, it talks about all, the benefits to native plant gardening and different insects that will grow on your native plants, etc. But anyway, Doug Tallamy has a website too for those people that are in the States. If you search for Doug Tallamy, but his Instagram handle is National Homegrown. I brought some notes. Hold on, let me just make sure. Okay. Yeah, Homegrown National Park.
Talk about that. I'm going to readjust my thing here because my hip is killing me.
Oh no.
Ugh. I'm getting old.
Oh, don't say that. 25 for life. Forget it. Anyhow, yeah. So if you're from the States, you can actually input your, if you have native plants in your yard, you can add it to the map on Homegrown National Park. If you follow them and go onto their website, you can actually put in your native plants that you have growing in your yard. So if there's anybody out there from Canada that knows of this, or in Ontario that's happening for Ontario, I super want to know about it. I haven't found this yet, but I think it's such a neat idea to just see all the native plants that are growing in the country and to kind of put yourself on the map and say, I'm doing my part,
Cool.
So yeah, really, really cool. Yeah. And there's one more book I'm going to bring. This is an old one, but this one's by, can you see it? This one, oh, there we go. The Ontario Naturalized Garden. There it is. By Lorraine Johnson. And I actually got to speak with her recently, and she's putting out a new book. So if you follow along on Instagram, I'll be sharing her new book. It's coming out in the spring, and it's all about native plant gardening for Ontario. So for those who are in North America, there's two really good resources. There's a ton more that is out there, but if you start searching whatever area you are in whatever country you are in, and you take a look, you'll find, Google whatever area and native plants, and you'll find lists for shade, for sun, for, more wet parts. If you have like a little pond in your area, you'll be able to, hello from Wisconsin. Wisconsin actually has a huge native plant there's a huge following there. And so anyway, we're on the cusp of something. So I just invite everybody to kind of come along, right? Like plant a native plant this year if you haven't already, or if you have already, then share some seeds with others that don't have them, and we can all help, right?
Nice. That's awesome. Oh, that's so cool. I'm just going to do, hello, Wisconsin vegetable gardener. And Laura over at Hedgehog's Homestead. We're having a whole party in here tonight. It's great.
Yeah, it's busy. This is exciting.
Oh, there we go. I'm just getting this. I have my my iPad here so I can like follow along. with chat, and it helps me keep up a little bit.
Mhm.
Yeah. So what I was saying earlier is, right before I brought you up, is that everybody's all talking about how, oh, the bees are endangered. We've got to save the bees. We've got to save the bees. And everybody's like, well, we'll plant a bunch of pollinators. Good. And oh, we'll have beehives in our, on our property and all of that. Also good, because, you'll get the honey out of it and all that. But what people don't realize is the European honeybee isn't going anywhere. They are not endangered. They are not in trouble at all for exactly those reasons. We're planting all the things that they come to. We're taking care of them and managing them. But like in New England, at least in my area on the North Shore, the best pollinators for us actually are not the honeybees. It's the bumblebee. The bumblebee and the sweat bees, which you don't even really recognize them as bees because you're thinking honeybees. And yeah, so planting those native pollinators is going to bring a whole bunch of those into your yard, and they're going to go after those vegetables. Like, can I tell you, I don't think I saw more than a handful of honeybees in my garden last year at all. Like, there was a bunch of them on my radishes, but mostly I think the pollinating last year was done by bumblebees. I had they were everywhere, especially in my beans. They really loved the beans. But yeah, so you got to think about those native pollinators, not just focusing on, I haven't seen any honeybees.
Yeah,
Just because you don't see them doesn't mean you don't have pollinators.
absolutely. Yeah. And there's hundreds of different kinds of bees. And, we recognize the honeybee and we recognize the bumblebee, but there's many different types of bees. There's bees that you, again, like you say, you might not even recognize. Apparently there's bees that are super tiny, like half the size of like your baby finger, that you might not even recognize as a bee. Or there's other critters like flies that I found recently, hoverflies. Last year, I found some hoverflies on my native plants and learned about those creatures that look kind of like a bee, kind of like a wasp, and they kind of hover, and they are pollinators as well. And so, yeah, the more native plants you bring in, the more you'll provide either host plants or pollen for these insects that are picky little creatures that will only host on certain plants. There are some when we think about plants that are helpful for pollinators, I think we often think of like these flowers and herbaceous kind of plants, but there's also trees and giant shrubs or bushes that are really, really helpful for pollinators as well. Apparently the oak tree is one of the most beneficial. So if you're going to plant a tree, consider a native oak tree to your area. Again, like do your research, depending on where you're from. But in my area of the world, an oak tree can support hundreds of different creatures. Whereas, a native tree, if actually one of the chapters in this book, the Bringing Nature Home is it talks about the difference of the pollinators that each species supports when in this is the North American context. So if you bring in an alien plant and then it in its native area, whether it be in Asia or whatever, might host hundreds of different species, in the North American context might only host a few. And so you really try to focus on the native plants, and you'll really make a difference in your ecosystem, in your community. Are you okay over there?
Yeah,
Speaking
sorry, I'm
about
getting
butterflies.
distracted, but I have a stink bug flying around, and I'm like, it's gonna dive bomb my ring light.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, I hate these things. Got anything that repels stink bugs? Oh my god, they have invaded the Northeast in the last couple of seasons. Like, yes, Mia, eat it, bite it. Oh wait, maybe don't. All right. I have to grab a paper towel just so that I am prepared if it comes near, and I gotta grab it because I'm not touching that and grabbing it because they have that for a reason. But yeah, they're like big, like shield shaped bugs.
I wonder if they're native or if they're invasive.
I think they're invasive because I don't remember ever seeing these growing up. I've only really seen them the last couple years. And I think I read something because I went like to look it up. This kind of bug has like invaded the Northeast in the last few years.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, I think I've killed 8 or 9 of them this week in my house.
Ugh, and they
Yeah.
are stinky.
And they were on my peppers this year and like stinging them to lay their eggs in them, and
Oh,
yeah, it ruined my loot shower peppers this year. So
that's a
yeah, I was just like, am I getting dive bombed? Um,
Do you
yeah, I
need
think
some
it's over there under my grow lights right now, but I'm gonna run and grab a oh, here we go. Are there native red buds? I want one, and hubby says no. I'm gonna go grab a paper towel and you can answer that.
I do believe that there is a native redbud to Ontario. I will send you a link. I do believe there is one that is native. So I'm going to write this down to send you a link because I'm pretty sure. I believe there's one. So I will do my research and send it to you. Yeah, beautiful plants, right? There's so many great options. I'm just going to keep going. She can go get her paper towel.
Go for it.
Oh, there she's back. Oh, no, she's
No,
not.
keep going. Just go for it.
Keep going. Okay, I'm gonna go. You can hear me. Well, one of the things that I wanted to talk about was not just the native plants, but the invasive plants. And I think I've come to realize recently that there's a ton of invasive plants that are sold at garden centers, which totally baffles my mind that this is even a thing, and that people have been growing all these invasive plants. And invasive meaning not just a plant that's aggressive and just can grow really fast in your garden, but invasive meaning that it can, if it gets out into a native area, like, the creeks or the little forests that are all among suburbia, or even worse, in like a forest that is all naturalized or natural, it can take over, and it can take over those native plant communities. And so, some examples, which, when you talk about this in the garden communities, especially if it's not a native plant gardening community, can really get people upset. And it's because they've loved these plants for their whole life, and they have these like emotional connections to them. And some of them are like periwinkle or the vinca plant, like people are, oh, I love this plant. It brings me great memories. But in my area of the woods, it can totally take over a forest and really cause problems. We've got garlic mustard. I live just on the back.
You've been fighting that for a while.
It's a pain in the butt plant, and it's an invasive plant that can totally take over a natural area. And so I think that people, when they are going walking and they're seeing like, I'm out in the woods, all I see is green, and it's beautiful, and it is. And some of these invasive plants are beautiful. Garlic mustard is a very beautiful plant. It's got pretty little white flowers.
I've always wanted wisteria, but apparently it is very invasive.
Right? There are these, there's different levels of invasiveness as well. So, to keep in mind that the ones that are most detrimental to the environment are the ones you kind of want to get rid of first. But like, those are things like English ivy. Like, again, it may be in other areas of the world, it's perfectly fine, but in my area of the woods, it's bad news. So like English ivy, the periwinkle, the lily of the valley, these are all plants.
Mm-hmm.
Even sadly to say, like, I don't want to, people might not like this one, but the what is it called, the one with the bright red leaves, like it was something to do with fire plant, what is it called,
I don't know that one.
Yes, you do. It's the burning bush thing.
Okay, I don't actually know what burning bush looks like, so
you don't. Oh, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful plant. In the fall, it's a stunning, bright red plant. And I thought it was a poltergeist. Yeah, it's a beautiful plant. And unfortunately, it's a pretty nasty invasive plant that the birds can eat, and then they'll drop the seeds in other areas. So that's the thing too, is that you might have an invasive plant, say, well, it's fine, I have it in my garden and I've kept it fine. But then perhaps if it is carried off by another critter, by seed or whatever, then it can spread, and you don't even know you're contributing to the spread. So, You look beautiful. Um,
I will
anyway,
die with my side part. No.
you look great.
Okay,
Anyway,
go.
yeah, the just the kind of concept of kind of knowing what's in your garden and doing a little bit of research to find out, am I, like, especially if you get a new house, like I know some people inherit a lot of these plants, and just to be able to say, this is what I have. This is either neutral, maybe we'd like to move it over time, or this is invasive and maybe we should get rid of it. Like it's hard to say sometimes when you have something beautiful and green, why would I take it out? But it's like, especially if you live on the outside of like for me, I back onto this pretty creek. Yeah, Katie.
I'm just like, no, please, no.
Southern Sown and Grown says they bomb your hair. They're going after you.
I'm going to say a quick hi to Callie Homesteading with Pooh Bear, who came in, and Ladies Farm. Okay, if you haven't seen Ladies Farm, she just moved from California to 100-acre mountain, like, valley property in Kentucky, and it's so beautiful.
Well, I will
Like,
definitely
oh,
have to subscribe.
yes. Yeah, they like to be inside when it's cold, and they can pick another room in this house because it's always my bedroom. I don't see them anywhere else. Oh my goodness. That's so cute, though. All right. Oh, the HOA tickets sell out. Okay, you talk. I'm going to buy my HOA ticket. No, just kidding. Let's see. Always wait. Where's my hand cream? Hold on. It's right there. I didn't know that you noticed where my hand cream was, but okay, there it is. You always notice when it's been moved. Well, it's either there or it's there. So the things that people notice sometimes.
Right?
Be careful with the spray. If they're the same as the Aussie stink bugs, it can. Ugh. Plant alyssum for hoverflies.
Oh, okay.
Huh. This particular stink bug is. I read something about it, and it's like invasive and kind of like taking over. Is it still illegal to plant forget-me-nots here? They sell the seeds here too, which is kind of funny.
I know, it's crazy. I find it so baffling that you can buy seeds or plants that are invasive, like in the areas that they're invasive. It doesn't make sense to me. Also, like, I find it kind of baffling that you can't find native plants just at ease at any garden center. So, if you're interested in buying native plants, go and search for them in your garden centers. If you don't find them, tell the people and say, I'm looking for them, so that they know that the demand is there, so if the demand is there, they will provide them. But if they don't know the demand is there, then they're not going to. We had a whole chain of plants last year sell native plants, and I was so excited. We have a chain called Canadian Tire here in Ontario in Canada, and they sold all sorts of native plants. So I was really excited to see them on the shelves, at least available for people. And another source would be to take a look at native plant nurseries in your area. But also, if one great source that I found as well is on Facebook, these Facebook groups. If you search for wherever you are and native plants, in Ontario, we have one called the Ontario Native Plant Seed and Exchange Group. And then people just share native plants that they're growing in their area, right? And so, you might be able to acquire them maybe for free even, you never know, right? So if you're in Ontario, I generally share seeds at the end of the year after I've collected them in the fall. So if you are interested in any from Ontario, or if you know that you're native to, that they are native to any parts of North America, then send me a little message and I'll be able to send them to you.
Actually, Brampton Gardener has a YouTube group for YouTube seed swaps.
A
So that
YouTube
could be,
group?
yes, it's a Facebook group of YouTubers
Oh,
doing seed swaps.
oh, maybe
So
I will have to look that
check
up.
that out.
All right, another one for
Very
Brampton Gardner.
exclusive,
I'll have to write that down.
right? She's got the hookups all over the place.
I know
Um,
she does. That's why she's skyrocketing.
Yep, my auntie has bittersweet. Oh, that's so hard to get rid of. You've got to like
Oh,
chop it down to the ground. You got to dig and dig and dig, and you got to like burn and.
yeah, that's
Oh.
just it, right? Some of these invasive plants are just a bugger. Actually, there's a whole chapter on it from in that book, the Bringing Nature Home by Doug Tallamy. It's just, it talks about orange bittersweet, and I didn't even know what it was, but now I'm learning that it
Mhm.
can take over like huge trees. Same with the
Yep.
English ivy. Like my brother just bought a house here in Ontario, and his yard is so overtaken by English ivy that we don't know how to deal with it yet. I'm going to put out a request to my Ontario Native Plant Gardening group to see if they have some suggestions, because their whole property is totally overtaken by invasive plants. And where do you start when it's that bad? Like his
Mhm.
ivy is so bad that it's all throughout the grass, but the grass is pretty much gone, and he just mows the ivy. Like it's that bad. So
Wow.
anyway, yeah. So if anybody has any great tips, like I know that there's like this cardboard and if you put black garbage bags down for a season or so, like we might have to do that and start from
Mhm.
scratch, or like,
I've heard of that
right?
method. Yeah.
Like it's kind of a shame, because that's a lot of work, like if you want to just start planting native plants in your garden, you can just plant them. But if you have invasives that you want to get rid of, it can be a major pain in the butt. I've been kind of taking it on my own to help. Hopefully our city is happy about this as I'm now publicizing it. But I live right on like a city owned creek bed. And so it's got garlic mustard all over. So I actually did a little video on getting rid of garlic mustard. And yeah, it is a bloody hard plant to get rid of, because apparently it sends off essentially it makes it so that the soil around it is inhospitable to other plants. If you plant certain native plants and you kind of like put lots and lots of them down, that can help get rid of them and choke them out, but really they don't make it easy. And then they
Black
also,
walnut does something like that too. Like you can't plant a lot of things around black walnut trees because it just kills them.
well, yeah, so I've been learning about the black walnut, because black walnut is a juglone type of plant. And so don't quote me on everything here, because I'm not a professional on this, but bye, Brampton Gardener. I'll send you
Yeah, I
some
was gonna say I
information
just
on
wanted to take a
red.
pause and say hello. Who else came in? Tanya A came in. Hello, hello. Um, Actually, that might have been it. If I missed somebody, say hi again. But good night to Rochelle, Brampton Gardner. We'll see you later. Canadian Tire is like GI Joes. Don't need 100 acres. 75 of that would be tropical fruit plants. The other 25 and a half would be Animal Kingdom and our tiny house around here somewhere. Ugh. I would be overjoyed with two, because 2 acres, I'd have my goats, I'd have um, a massive garden, I'd have some chickens. Oh, hey, we do have new people. Hello, our new land. Hello, nice to meet you. Hat Creek Homestead. I don't know if I've seen you before, but hello, hello. Um, wow, hey, cool new people. All right, all right, all right. Let me see if I can get down to the bottom of the chat here. Everybody's saying hello, hello. And I'm down to the bottom, so go.
Yeah, anyhow, we were just chatting about stinking garlic mustard. Yeah, and getting rid of the invasive plants can be super duper tricky. But oh yeah, we were talking about the black walnut plant and or black walnut
Yeah.
tree, and black walnut is actually a native plant in Ontario. I'm not sure if it is in New England. I kind of have a feeling it might be, but it's the juglone property of that plant that makes it tricky to grow plants underneath it. But apparently, native plants that have grown near walnuts their whole existence, there's lots of options to choose from. So you might just want to take a look at juglone tolerant native plants for your area, and you might be able to find lots that'll grow. I have a whole bunch of black walnuts right behind me, and all those big green walnuts that come flying down from the trees, they're all over the yard throughout the year, and or in the fall especially, and I haven't had a problem with anything really. Yeah, and even native, non-native, whatever. I can't say that I've had any troubles at all. So I don't know if it's like directly by the base of the plant, but people have said like, oh, I can't have a black walnut around because it'll make it so that I can't grow anything anywhere. But I can't say that I've had any problems other than things I've just wrecked myself.
There you go.
So,
right.
Yeah, if you are concerned about it, just searching up juglone tolerant native plants will probably find you a few that will be okay. Yeah, and apparently you can eat them and you can use them to make dye, and yeah, they're not as terrible as they seem.
I know some people who actually will they tap them for sap and they make black walnut syrup.
Oh, no way.
Like you'd make maple syrup, you can do that with black walnut. So I mean, I'm not saying that I wouldn't have one around. I just would not want to either put my vegetable garden near it or put one near my vegetable garden. Hey, we got another friend popping in. So first off, my auntie says, don't forget my sheep. So you can get some nice merino wool for auntie to work with. Just trying to make sure. Why did that not work? Trying to buy my Homesteaders of America thing and it's not working. Because, Black's Tropical Homestead just put the fear of the Lord in me there for a second to make sure I get my ticket. Urban Girl Gardening, hello. We got Kiki Soto in the house. Let's see. Herd up to 80 feet from the base of the tree or with yeah, I mean, I think it's most vegetable plants and things don't grow.
Maybe they're picky, right? So maybe don't grow your vegetables underneath the walnut. But but also too, I wonder if you have raised bed gardening, if it has any influence. Like, wouldn't think that there'd be any influence at all. And then if they're, if you find the walnuts are like, just a bit smaller than a softball, right? So they're like a squash ball size. So, if you see one of those in your garden, take it out. Like easy peasy.
Yeah. Actually, a lot of times you'll see on the local, so I'm in Beverly, Massachusetts. So on like the Beverly local group, you'll see, what are these? What are these? And they're like, they're green and everybody's like black walnut.
Yes.
So
just leave them out. The squirrels will get them.
Yep. True. Squirrels love them.
Yeah, let them bother that instead of the other things that you might not want them to pester around. So do you have any native plants in your family's gardens right now that you're taking care of?
I don't know yet. The things are they're not going to be waking up around here for like another month. Mm-hmm. A lot of what was here has kind of gone to the wayside. I know that the yard is really, it's grass, but dandelions, like it's kind of like the yard that I would kind of want myself. It's got a lot of white clover. It's got a lot of buttercups and wild violet and things like that. So that's kind of how the yard is. And then my dad has a vegetable garden that's gotten very small over the years, and I'm about to change that. And yeah. Woohoo! I am officially going to HOA. I have bought my weekend pass. I am very excited. Okay. Let's see. Monarch Gardener has native plants for sale in May.
Oh,
That
yes,
is
yes, I
cool.
follow him too. Yeah, there's so many new faces that are here today. I'm very excited to take a peek at all you guys and to follow along as well. There's just so many. There's so many people that are sharing their story online, and everybody's got a different one. They've got all different tips along the way. So I'm really excited
Hmm.
to take a look. What do we got here? The raised bed plants not affected yet, right? I didn't think so.
Hmm. Yeah, so still for me, I wouldn't want to put my garden near the walnut because
Yeah.
my beds are only um, about 8 to 10 inches deep, so those roots are going to go way in.
Yeah,
So
and if you have a choice, right? Like if you don't have
yeah,
a choice, like yeah, just do a raised bed garden that's sealed at the bowl, sealed so the roots can't go in or down.
yep,
Deep
you can do
enough, it
that
will
too.
probably
That's
be
right.
fine, right? So that's always a good option as well. And not to not don't hate on for the black walnut. There's one of the other plants that I hear a lot of, like with weeds and people. There's so much confusion about is the goldenrod, and people are like, oh, it causes me allergies, but like apparently the pollen that the goldenrod produces is not actually capable of causing allergies because it's a heavy pollen that can only be moved around by pollinators. And so
Huh.
it just so happens to be in bloom when ragweed is in bloom.
Oh,
And
ragweed
it's
is the
actually the
worst.
ragweed that causes the allergies. And goldenrod's good. Goldenrod is good. Goldenrod is a beautiful pollinator for the late fall. It's a pretty yellow. Well, there's lots of different kinds of goldenrod, but there's a number of yellow varieties. And yeah, it's beautiful in the gardens, in the fields, and it's a great pollinator for it's a great pollinator plant for the pollinators in the fall, right before winter time. So don't have the hate on for goldenrod.
Yep.
It's amazing the conversations that you see online where people are like, oh no, I can't have that, I'm allergic to it. Well,
Right.
there may be some people that have some kind of allergy to goldenrod that I am not aware of, but in general, that there's a misconception that it's actually what's causing um, the allergies. Did you just order for October? I think
I did.
that's a new
Yep,
question.
I did. I got my Homesteaders of America. I'm going. I'm gonna go down and car camp, and I got Celtic Roots Homestead was in here last week, and we were talking about it, and I'm like, you've been, so apparently you can car camp and all of that. So I will have my cooler full of food and some camping supplies. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get one of those tents that goes off the back of your SUV, so you put um the trunk up, and then oh there
This
seriously
sounds like so much fun. Where is this and what is this? I don't know about it.
Oh, okay. So Homesteaders of America it's almost become like a YouTube conference at this point.
Oh,
So it's yeah. So there's a homesteading conference in Virginia in October each year, and it's workshops and sort of little classes and get-togethers and all of that. And so I'm going this year. I'm very excited. A lot of the big YouTubers that like Roots and Refuge is usually there. Mi Gardner usually goes. You've got the Justin Rhodes and all the big people, but a whole bunch of these little channels like that I'm excited that like I only see them online. So I'm very excited to go and actually see them in person.
oh,
And
you
Black's
guys get
Tropical
together.
Homestead,
Do a video.
yeah, huh?
Do a video.
Oh, I think there's going to be a lot of video.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll be taking my camera around and meeting people.
Yeah.
It's kind of silly. So like everybody's like Mi Gardner, it's Luke from Mi Gardner. I'm actually kind of excited if you watch Mi Gardner at all. But
Mm-hmm.
the one of his employees, Haley, does a Roots Shoots and Coffee, like a live stream every Tuesday morning, and it's just kind of talking about planting and gardening and all of that. And it's about half an hour, 45 minutes, and so you chat in there, and she kind of chats back, and you kind of like this. And I'm kind of excited to meet her, so
Yeah.
it's going to be fun because she starts recognizing people in chat and all that. Black's Tropical Homestead, Content City. Callie Homestead with Pooh Bear, they're going. Pooh Bear's going. I know that Celtic Roots will be going. There's a Black's Tropical Homestead is going. Yeah, there's a bunch of people.
Sounds like a
So
party. Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
I'm not worrying about I'm not worrying about hotels. It's just me. I I thought about the dog. I think I'm gonna leave the dog. Um, oh, Ladies Farm, are you going again this year? Because I would love that. Um,
Well, now I want to go.
yeah, yeah, it's so fun. See, you've been. I kind of want to make like a pilgrimage to the my gardener's storefront. I keep saying I'm gonna do like a YouTuber's road trip where I'm gonna come across Massachusetts up in Albany, and I'll go say hi to Kiki and do like a collab video with Kiki, and then up into Canada and hit
I'll meet you in
Rochelle and
Brampton.
Brampton. Huh?
I'll meet you in Brampton. I'm not far.
Yeah, there you go. So I figure like then I can see, my Canadian homesteaders as I go across, because it's faster to get to the MI Gardner store where it is in Michigan if I go up and through Canada than
Do
going
it.
down and going around the lakes and coming back up that way.
I think it's a
I'll make
great.
my way to West Virginia eventually because that's on the list of places where I might buy a house. So
Oh,
yeah, I moved back for people who haven't been following because I see a lot of new people here. Like Wild and Wonderful Homestead, I just found you the other day on the Small YouTubers Homestead group, and now I'm watching your stuff, and now you're here in my live, which is great. Um, let's see, who did I just see come
oh, there's
in?
so many new channels. I'm so excited. This is so
Hey,
fun.
there we go. I knew someone. Joe from Garden State Gardener. Hello, hello, hello. Barb's Country Home. Yes, I think I'm going to sleep in my car, and I will be happy to do it. So, I am coming. That is a threat. That is not a promise. That is a threat. No, just kidding. um, yeah. So if I go out and then I just go up and through Canada, it's 10 hours. But if I go the other way and go down around, it's 15. For newcomers to my channel, I've had 2 apartment buildings sold out from under me in the last 2 years. So I've had to move a lot. I'm sick of it. I'm done. So I've moved back in with my parents, which is nice in some ways, but also I'm a 40-year-old woman living at home. With
Temporarily,
some challenges. Uh, my auntie is in here. She will attest that my dad is a wonderful person, but he has a challenging personality. But so I am here and I am saving my money and saving my money and saving my money. Although granted, my new house fund has currently $179, but I just started saving this week, so I'll be good.
bad for a week.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
So yeah, so I just moved home, so I'm saving money, and I can't stay in Massachusetts. It's too expensive. So I'm looking for. I want my little 2 acres. As long as the plumbing works, the electricity works, the heat works, and the roof isn't falling in, I can work with everything else.
Great. Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm looking, New York, New Hampshire, Vermont. I mean, I just don't want to. Yeah, my aunt just says he's just a little bit different. He's got no social filter or skills. That's what it is. But yeah, so skills he has, just not social ones. Yeah, so I'm looking for just something where I can get my little 2 acres and all of that. New York is a bit too cold, but I'm still looking there because it's cheap. Vermont also, New Hampshire also cold. So I'm kind of thinking I'm looking to go maybe West Virginia, North Carolina, maybe very, very, very eastern Kentucky. Maybe parts of Ohio or Pennsylvania. I don't know. It's got to
This is
be.
huge.
I need at least the same growing season or close to it. So, Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener. I am zone 6B. I'm right on the very coast. There's only a very small area of Massachusetts that is 6B. The rest of it is either 6A, 5B, 5A, and if you're up in the mountains and somewheres, it might even be 4B, because it does get very cold there. But right on the very strip of the edge of the coast, and then down the Cape, we get 6B, which is nice. Urban Girl Gardens. I'm going to Cali and never want to see snow again. After the 26 inches we got here, yeah, I could do without.
Oh yeah, we've been having like cold warning after cold warning. It's been like -30
Ugh.
Celsius, of course.
Yeah, I was going to say, and that translates to what? Fahrenheit. But that's got to be single digit.
Really, really cold AF.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we had single digit temperatures last night, Fahrenheit. So that's, yeah, is cold. And
yes.
Tomorrow's going to be like 60 here, though. Okay, Saturday it was 60. The next day it was 20, and we had 6 inches of snow.
Right? Yeah, it's been all over the place here too. It's been a little madness, but it has been
weather by civil.
Yeah, it's been cold enough for long enough that my husband has put together a fabulous little ice rink in the backyard for my daughters. So that's been pretty sweet. Yeah. Oh my God.
Cute.
So much effort. It takes so much effort, and he's out there every night putting water. I don't know if everybody would support this choice, but the tiniest little bit of soap is in the water because we every night after my little girl's bath, we'll put the bath water on the rink, and then it's just, it's nice and sleek and extra squeaky clean.
Put the effort in.
Honestly, it's so much work, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's really sweet. He put up like lights in the backyard. We got a new fence. Did a video about that. What to expect when you get when you do a total revamp on your fence? Because I really had no idea. And the guys who did our fence were so kind. They let me videotape so much. I thought I was just going to do a before and after. And they ended up letting me like take pictures of like the augers that they were like drilling down with and everything. So yeah, that's one of the videos that I thought was going to be like, oh, that's going to be really helpful for folks. And then it's got like hardly any views. I even wore a really pushing it dress in the picture that I was like, maybe this will get me some views. You just never know.
Oh.
That's why I got to do the naked gardening just like you.
Yeah. Yeah. And so because I lost I last year, I moved into my new apartment. Landlord said, yes, go crazy, build a crazy garden, go for it. So I did. And then halfway through the season, he's like, oh, hey, I'm going to sell the house. This was unexpected, but I have an opportunity, so I have to sell the house. So I had to take that whole garden that I just built all the way back down to the ground. And so now my friends were like, well, you can't lose your garden space. I didn't know where I was going to be going until I decided to move home, and my dad has his own garden, but apparently he's just given that to me for this year. So yay. But, they said, come put your garden in our yards. So I'm breaking it in two and putting one garden here and one garden there. And one of those gardens, my friend is like a filmmaker, does all sorts of podcasts, makes little movies, things like that. And he's like, oh, this year's naked gardening video, we're going to work together on this. He goes, I will shoot it. We'll work it all out. And he goes, and after listening to your seed haul video, I have 3 words that are going to make this year's World Naked Gardening Day video magic. And he goes, personal sized melons. Because I have a bunch of small melons I'm growing, like the Kajari melon, the Tigger melon. They're personal sized melons. And
small
he's like,
melons would be great for me too. I've always wanted to grow bigger melons, but there's only so much you can do.
I have plenty. I have all I need. Urban Girl Gardening and Lifestyle, wanting to get a greenhouse that was gifted from your Amazon wish list. Wow, I gotta do a wish list. I should.
Oh my goodness,
I
that's
actually on
wonderful.
Monday lost my job. It's
No,
okay. I already have like I had a job interview the next day that's pretty much a lock, so I'm good. And they're paying me for a few weeks and
yes.
all of that. But I basically now have a couple weeks off where um, I've already been guaranteed that I'm going to be paid, even though I'm not working. So that was really nice of them. But it means I get to spend the next week and a half focusing on revamping my YouTube channel and doing all the things that you should do that I haven't.
Oh, teach us the ways. What should I do that I haven't? I
um,
I just want to say thank you, Garden State Gardener. All melons are good to me. Thank you.
I've got to revamp my descriptions because I write the worst descriptions, and half the time I don't do tags, and I don't have all the links and all the things that I should have in my just So I'm gonna do some. I'm probably gonna go through some other creators' YouTube videos, like the how to do YouTube creators types, and be like, oh, you should make sure that you go through your about page and do this, and you should
Mhm.
so I'm going to do that. Hey, the Hoodstead is here. Hi, Leah. Let's see. Feeling under the weather today. Oh, I hope you're feeling better, though. Get a good nap. Heard HOA tickets and jumped up. Oh, if you're going, oh my God. See, more people that I'm going to see. More people I'm going to see. Uh,
I love how
no.
Black's Tropical Homestead is putting everybody's links. That's so helpful.
Yes, yes. They are the only mod in the chat right now, so I'm working on getting that. Oh, Black's Tropical Homestead, I gotta talk to you. I need you to show me how to use Nightbot because I was trying to get it today and I don't understand coding, and you have all the commands. I need help. Sheree, help me. Let's see. Hey, Smita's fresh from my garden. So if anybody is
Oh
not
my goodness.
familiar with this channel, you need to go watch. Like, her flowers are so beautiful, and her voice is just very soothing. Like, while she's narrating, you almost feel like you're just gonna like zen out and float away.
Oh my God, she does such a beautiful job. I can't stop watching her videos, and I love
Right?
every single picture that she posts. It's just stunning. Yeah, I follow her on YouTube and Instagram as well, and I
Hmm.
yeah, can't get enough. Keep it coming.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, I don't know how to do the tags thing. The tagging another channel is really easy. You just put at and type the name, and you can't see that it's highlighted, but they can see that it's highlighted, so you're good.
On YouTube?
Yeah, so like, um, oh goodness, why did I close that? That was silly. Um, let's see, like if I go into the chat, do, oh no, you're not actually like in chat, so you wouldn't be able to see this even if I did an example, but that's okay. We'll do it another time. But if
Sure.
you type at and then the
Put me
person's
late.
channel name, it'll highlight it. They'll see, so it'll catch their attention. Oh, they're talking to me.
Oh, okay. And just so people know too, if you haven't already figured out, you can like group change your YouTube videos too. So keep that in mind too if you're going to be
Hmm.
making lots of changes and you
Yeah.
all want them to have, whatever tag might be appropriate, garden, whatever. You can do it for all of them.
Hmm. I made it to the bottom of the chat again.
Nice
Attempted
work.
the mail call video yesterday. You don't know if you did it, or that's okay. Oh, I did a mail call.
That's your
I've got a
learning
mail call
curve.
video coming out tomorrow morning. I'm so excited for what I got. Black's Tropical Homestead knows what it is because they could tell from the thumbnail, but I can't wait. So excited. And I got something really cool in the mail. So I'm going to have another mail call coming up. But I got something really fun that I've been wanting for a while. So this is where I got to like start saving money. Now I've got all the things that I wanted to get, and I got to stop. Because time to save money for the homestead. So
It's
yeah.
tough. There's just too many things I want to buy.
That is true. That is true. I got all the things. all of the things that I want to get. Um,
That's why like being able to share things with others is just so fabulous. Like these seed swaps, or like these Facebook groups where you can do like an exchange, especially like if things are a little bit harder to find, like the name of plants sometimes, these kind of exchange groups are just, it's so helpful. People are just,
mhm.
like any other plant, especially the perennial plants, like they get bigger and bigger, and then you need to share them because they get too big for your space. And it's especially when people are thinking, oh, well, that plant grows so fast. Oh, I don't know if I want that plant. Well, if it grows fast, great. It looks great in like a shorter amount of time. And then once it
Mhm.
gets bigger, you can pass it on to your friends. Like I love sharing plants. It's kind of a really neat thing about gardening is that, I can go through my garden and say, oh, I got that from my mom. Oh, I got that from my friend,
Mhm.
my sister, like it's like telling a story in your garden.
Oh, hey, I forgot that I made Joe a mod too. So thank you, Joe, for putting up people's links. That's awesome. Kiki Soto's going put the littles to bed. Say hi to AJ and Sky Pie for me. Bye bye. Mwah.
Thank
um,
you for watching.
oh, that's so nice. Husband made a video for you. Aw. My family is trying to move to Tennessee this year. I have all the ways. Hello, the Major. How are you? This actually, I've got to say, is probably going to be the most people I've had on a live stream. I think at one point we hit like 29. I have yet to breach 30.
Oh,
So, but I think my record before now was like 24. So this is great.
that's exciting. Well,
Oh,
thank you. Thank you for
yeah.
having me be a part of
Mhm.
it. This is fun. This is
Um,
wonderful.
hey, and welcome to my Cape Cod life. And Blue Pixie is here. Aw. Oh my goodness. I got all my favorites.
Oh my
Um,
goodness. You have
so
quite
yeah,
a
this has
following.
been pretty great.
Well,
See,
I will definitely have to take a look at everybody, which is going to take me some
yeah.
time.
So for those of you who've just popped in, the Suburban Gardenista here, Brandy has, can anybody peek at Brandy's channel, the Suburban Gardenista, and see how many subscribers she has now? Because I think you said we started with 440.
440. That's right.
440.
440. I'm getting
Let's
there.
see. Let's see if we got you over 450.
Oh,
Let's
Ronnie
see.
Weaver said there were 41 people at one point on this live. On this live, Ronnie?
41?
41.
I I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't know unless I see. It's like having friends living in your garden. It's
Yeah, right. You
true.
connect. You connect to the plants, especially when they've been given from another person, and then there's a story that goes with them. Especially, oh, this is my
Yes.
mom's favorite plant, or this one grew so well, or this one took over, whatever. It's true. It's true. You can connect to it.
Well, I know that when I do move, I am taking some of my mom's, as she calls them, panties. So it's peonies,
Oh
but
yeah.
panties, yeah. Well, you are at 448.
Woohoo! Thank you,
Um, yes. Let me see. You know what I got to do? So I've got to go into my own channel here. I'm gonna make my alternate account a mod just to make things easier. Um, silly, but do.
Well, I will. I'm already gonna go searching for everybody from this live and take a peek too. But if you did subscribe, it'll be an easy access link so for me to subscribe as well. So
Right. And for those of you who do go and check out her channel, um, don't forget to go in. Oh, Black's Tropical Homestead has it and dropped your link, so that's good.
thank
Um,
you. Thank you.
Heather Lynn is now up to 62.
Wonderful.
Yay.
It's exciting. It just feels encouraging, like to have that kind of support from people. And yeah, and like I said before, if people watch any of the videos and you see anything that I missed, or you have any other tips that are along the same lines of whatever plant I'm talking about, please share them in the comments. So that the more info out there, the better, right? The more helpful this can be. Yeah, I'm really excited about this upcoming growing season. I've got, I want to say like 30 or so new native plants to me that I've grown either from seed or from seedlings. So I'm really, really excited to kind of capture those along the way and just see how they grow and show their growth over time. And then some of them that I've grown last year, 452. Woohoo! Thank you. Yeah, I wanna kind of share how they grow, and I'm going to be highlighting. So essentially, what I've done this last season is I did a native plant garden tour for every single month, and then the plan was like I know that the garden tours may or may not be that exciting to people, not necessarily that thrilling,
I
but
literally watched all of those today. So,
oh my gosh, wow! Well, thank you. Well, you got to see the whole evolution. But the plan is that I do these native plant garden tours, and then I was able to capture a really good progression through the seasons of a few plants in particular. And so I'm going to do like a little video on butterfly weed throughout the seasons, and then obedient plant throughout the seasons. I got some really good footage of foam flower throughout the seasons, and then I have all these other plants that they were kind of puny, so they're not really that great for a throughout the seasons kind of concept, but I thought that might be helpful. What do you guys think? Do you think that seeing especially a plant that you're not familiar with, I thought that it might be helpful to see it throughout the whole season so that you can plan your garden, like if you think, oh, well, I'd like butterfly weed and it's bright orange, well, maybe it can fit here. But if you see it, oh, it's only in bloom from this point in time, then you might want to plan it differently. So I'm looking for good gardening content. Michigan homesteader.
Not quite Michigan homesteader, but he sort of is. He's a Michigander. The City Stead, Joshua Yonker. His channel is called The City Stead. Check him out. He's great, and he grows amazing garlic, like insane amounts of garlic. But just him and his three little redheaded little kiddos running all over, the just most cute. So he's like super dad, and the gardening, and it's just an adorable channel, so you should watch that.
Sure.
But yeah, I had never seen, as far as I know, I've never seen obedient plant before, and I was watching your videos as it goes through, and I'm like, that's really pretty.
Isn't it so pretty?
Like
and it gets so tall, and yeah, and it's in bloom for a really, really long time, and the pollinators just love it, like love it. And the reason why it's called obedient plant is because the little flower heads, there's like tons of flower heads on the top of a tall stalk. You can actually move them, and then they'll stay wherever you move them, and that's why it's called obedient plant, which is funny because a lot of people think that it's not an obedient plant because it's actually a pretty aggressive plant. It's one of those plants where people are like, oh, don't grow that in your garden because it's gonna grow too fast. But I have not had a problem with it at all. And I live in a very suburban context with a neighbor right beside me and nothing able to stop it. And it's totally, I don't know why people have a hate on for this plant, but I think it's absolutely lovely. And I think it's one of my favorite my favorite native plants in the garden, really.
Yeah, I thought it was really pretty.
Yeah, and apparently it's great for cut flowers, and it's a part of the mint family. So it's actually
that explains why everybody's like, it's aggressive.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and it's I just planted it right beside. I'm trying to grow a little bee balm patch right beside it, which is also an aggressive plant and in the mint family. But again, because it's in the mint family, apparently bunnies will leave it alone, and deer as well. So if you're looking for like deer resistant plants, if you have that issue, which I very much do not, there are no deer walking around my backyard, but there's lots of bunnies.
And yeah, in one of my 3 garden spaces this year, so I have the family garden, which I'm growing in my friend's yard, which is just going to be a whole bunch of little things that little kids can come along and just pick in the garden all over the place. So that's
that's perfect. I love
so that's the theme for the garden going in my friend Chris and Sarah's yard. Then my friend Kristen, she's going to have the canning garden because she loves, like, her favorite thing to do is canning. So she's always getting extra boxes of tomatoes from the CSA and jalapenos and cucumbers and all these things to make salsas and sauces and pickles and all that. So I'm like, well, I don't have as much time as I'd like to do all of the processing. So how's this? I will grow you your tomatoes and cucumbers and all of that in your yard, and we'll split the sauces, then I'll just get plenty of spaghetti sauce and all of that. And she's
Oh.
like, yes. And then everything else will be hodgepodge kind of into here at the home garden. But her yard, the canning garden, she borders conservation land. So there, I've seen deer outside her house. So not so much a problem in the other two, but it's definitely going to be an issue here. So I'm going to have to learn how to do deer fencing and things like that. So I've kind of like outsourced some of my, like I love the growing. Here we go. We got a question. Hey, Kevin Marshall. Nice to meet you. I don't know if I've seen you in here before, so welcome in. But question for Brandy.
Will obedient plant bring bees into my garden? Yeah, obedient plant is a pollinator magnet. So if you want to bring more bees, more native bees and native pollinators into your garden, that is a excellent option. It's honestly, of all the plants in my garden, native, non-native, it's easily the magnet to all the pollinators. That's the one we were talking about earlier with the hummingbird hawk moth. It's attracted hummingbirds and butterflies and bumblebees galore. The bumblebees just climb right into each of the little flowers. And I took a little video of that. Again, that's one of those shorts where I was like, this one's going to fly. People are going to love this. It's just calming and soothing. And the little bumblebee goes into each of the petals. And a few people watched it.
Right?
So,
you never know.
You just never know.
Never know what's going to hit. You never know.
This is true. This is true. But yeah, you know what? Like give some native plants a try and let me know how it goes. And especially if you're in North America and you have some like, oh, this is a really great one for suburbia, then send me a message on Instagram. I can't receive messages yet on YouTube because I'm not there yet, but one day I will be. You guys are helping. But yeah, send me a message on Instagram at the Suburban Gardenista and help me learn along the way too.
Let's see. Bare Bones Living. They're moving and trying to go everything in the pots. Let's see. You're having a sponsor on your radio show that has all natural deer, rabbit, and groundhog repellent. Well, I'll tell you, the bunnies ravaged my garden last year. Like, I didn't get a single, I got one flower. I got one sunflower out of like 6 packs of sunflowers that I planted all around. And I got one sunflower, and that was after they had eaten it to the ground like 3 times. And this sunflower was just so resilient. It was just a stick.
It was
and
determined.
It kept going, and they'd eat it down to a stick, and it would get going. So I finally got a sunflower, and that's the sunflower that's in the thumbnail for my lives.
Oh,
Those 2 sunflowers, that's the one, the resilient sunflowers. Deer and rabbit and groundhog repellent. I think that's called a shotgun. Definitely need something for the deer because my fruit are not for them. All right.
You were saying that you were going to start a pollinator garden, were you not? Like a more of a perennial garden. Are you going to be planting more of the native plants in that as well? Or?
Yes. So my mom, when I was a kid, kept trying to get the flower beds like full of bee balm. Bee balm was one of them. There it is again. I'm gonna hunt that thing down later. So bee balm and she wanted all the butterflies, all the hummingbirds. So she was trying to plant all of those things up in the back of the yard. But my grandmother also lived here, and she was very destructive. Mm-hmm. Like, she'd have guys come in to do work, and she wouldn't tell them, hey, watch out for the rose bushes. And everything would get trampled all the time. The only thing she's really managed to keep has been her peony bushes in the front of the house. So we're planning on, now that I'm here, we're planning, spend some mother-daughter time and revamping all the flower beds down the side. And she wants a perennial herb garden. She wants those butterfly plants and things like that. So bee balms and, milkweeds and things like that. So there's
Yeah.
definitely going to be a lot of that. And I, of course, want to bring in the pollinators for the vegetable garden as well. So all of that is definitely going to help. So, hey.
Woo! Thank you so much. Thank
Now,
you.
when you're doing this, don't forget that you've got to go back and you've got to watch some videos and you've got to comment and you've got to like, you've got to interact with the channel, or those subs are not going to stick because you know that YouTube plays their games.
Yes, and I would appreciate that. And I hope
Yeah.
you guys enjoy it. And hey, if you got any ideas for how to improve it or whatever, and then just send me a message too. Because I'm by no means a YouTube expert, but I am trying to do better and trying to make videos that people are going to enjoy and watch. You know, the thing with gardening is sometimes you make a video and you only really need to see it once, you know? So, how can you make those videos something that people can come back to again and again and
Right.
about that? So, yeah.
Yeah. Some aside from the naked video,
Yeah, definitely.
my biggest one is actually a series of 3, and that's on how to germinate lavender, how to get better germination rates on your lavender, because it can be very, very tricky to start from seed, and the germination rate is very poor in general. And that video, that series of videos, again, had I known they were going to be that big, I would have made them longer than like 3 minutes, 5 minutes. So I'm going back on that, and I'm like, hey, that got a lot of play. I'm going to go back and do some other hard to germinate seeds like rosemary and thyme they can both be pretty tricky. So I'm going to go back and do those, and I might do because it was like one of my first handful of videos, I might redo the lavender one just better, and a little longer.
Yeah, it's funny when you look back at the old videos. Like I have a video on deadheading. It's funny, the deadheading videos are the ones that are really like taking off, and those are the ones that I wasn't sure that they would. And then it's the native plant ones. I think it's because people, it's becoming more of a bigger thing that people are just starting now. Not just starting, but it's becoming more of a common gardener kind of discussion where kind of what I've seen in the past is that there's like the people who are just gung-ho, the people who have like, horticultural backgrounds, people who have gone to school for something in the environmental sciences, they're already connected to it. It's the people who, have gardened their whole life and they're like, we've got this. And that, oh, wait a minute, there's a whole world out there of native plants that I'm not aware of. And then it takes a little bit of effort because you kind of need to do a little bit more research and to maybe work a little bit harder to get them. And so it's not as easy to just like jump into. So that's what I'm thinking is that I'm on the cusp of this. So hopefully people are finding it interesting and helpful, because that's the whole point of me doing this kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm definitely sold on it. So hopefully I can sell some people as well.
No, I love how excited you are about it. It's like,
I just feel like it's just like an eye opener, right? Like I feel like, I was always into gardening after I got my homes, and it's like, oh, I really want to have some beautiful gardens. Like, how am I going to do this? And as I said at the beginning of this, which I don't know how many people have been here from the very start, but when you start a garden from scratch and you don't have a lot of money to work with, like I just kind of accepted whatever was given to me. I'd even like hunt out if you're smart about it, you can find free plants. So for example, I know that I live in suburbia and you see all the beautiful gardens, and those beautiful gardens are beautiful and lush. And the people who own those homes, they need to divide the plants because they just have too many plants. And if you keep an eye out, if you're there at the right time, you can get those plants. So
yeah, we have here in my area, we have the North Shore Garden Club Facebook group, and it's constantly like, hey, I'm going to divide my ornamental grasses. I'm dividing my hostas. So free plants, and people will rush in and go get them. It's pretty great.
Oh, yeah.
Tanya A., does anybody have any tips on growing strawberry from seed? I have only grown from bare root, so not yet, but eventually. I will try that at some point. Yeah, that is where Heather Lynn and I got connected, and if she's still here, the Bunny Girl 1712 or 12, 17, whichever one it is. We all got connected because of that Facebook group. What do you know?
Right? We can all connect. It's awesome, like there's, and from all over the world. I just chatted with a girl. You know what, if anybody's out there and wants to do a chat, I'd recommend taking a look at Gardening with Nikki. She does a podcast, and she's from Scotland, and she focuses on gardening and kind of the connection to mental health, and how it like how we get so much more from our gardens than just the plants and the food, but like connecting to it and how it can help us, deal with whatever you might be struggling with, anxiety, depression, etc.
Easier.
Anyhow, yeah. If people want to do it, she does podcasts. So if people are interested, she's been invited, similar to this, you just go and have a chat. And if you want to share some info about your channels, etc., she's someone you might want to tap on the shoulder. You can find her Gardening with Nikki. I'll put a link, or I've put the links on my Suburban Gardenista Instagram account. So yes, and awesome. I just did a chat with her about kind of native plant gardening as well, and then some connections to the mental health benefits to specifically native plants as well. And that will be coming up soon. So I'll be posting that on my Instagram account, because I'm not sure how to do that quite on YouTube yet.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. That's the thing, is I didn't expect like how therapeutic it felt to like. So I first started gardening on my porch. Like how I started and all of this was, honestly, it wasn't that long ago. It was like 2019, and I had my apartment, and I realized, oh, hey, I have a very sunny porch. I could grow a tomato here. And so I got a tomato plant, which turned into 2 tomato plants, which turned into some peppers and spinach and lettuce and Swiss chard and beans and peas and carrots and basil and blueberries and strawberries and like a dozen other things all on my front porch. One of these days I will put up a picture and you'll be like, oh my God. Covered my little porch, branched out to the patio in the back that had barely any sun. But yeah, I had potatoes in an 18-gallon storage tub like on my front porch. It was crazy.
Fabulous.
But I just remember like that spring, the next spring after, when I'm like, now I'm really into this and I'm all prepared. I was 8 months pregnant. It was the very first like month of the pandemic. So for those of you who don't know, because some of you are kind of new, I have 2 girls of my own, and they're 18 and almost 20. But in 2018 and 2020, I gave birth to a little boy and a little boy that were not mine. I was a surrogate mom, which is the coolest thing I've ever done. But I gave birth in the very beginning of the pandemic, like when everything was crazy.
Oh my God, you're a superhero. Wow. Yeah, no kidding.
Thing I've ever done. But, I just have this memory of, big old belly, and I'm sitting on the front porch, and I'm in my jeans, my pregnancy jeans, and because I live in my jeans. So, and I'm out there, and I'm just sitting down, and I'm leaning back in the sun, and I had a pot in front of me filled with soil. My hands are dirty, and it's just that perfect amount of warmth in early spring, and it's just perfect peace is what it is.
Yeah, just being outside and being in the garden and hopefully having some sunshine on you. Sometimes I garden at nighttime because that's the only time I have time for it. It can just like, it feeds your soul. Doesn't just feed your belly with all the food you grow, but it can feed your soul. It can make you feel better. And apparently there are actually I think it's a bacterium, or I can't remember the stat right now, but I can share some info on my Instagram if you're interested about there are actually some properties in soil that can have a benefit to your mental health. That just being in the soil and breathing in I believe it's a bacterium, and touching it with your skin, that it can actually like have an actual physical change in your body, that it's not just just being outside and enjoying the sunshine can just do it for you anyway. But, actually getting your hands in the dirt can actually have some mental health benefits more than just the physical act itself.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like also like when you have like pets too. There's like some act in petting a cat that just has an effect on your whole like nervous system. It's crazy. Speaking of which, somebody hasn't made an appearance this whole video. Mia, what are you doing? Come here. You haven't made, like, she's normally like up in every video. Hello. There she is. She's like, oh, mama, give me the love. She goes, your attention has not been on me for almost 2 hours. This is crazy.
Yeah, there's a couple people who are saying like, oh, it feels good to dig in the dirt. It's just therapeutic. Yeah, right. Like it can make you feel good. Anyway, if you connect to this kind of content, and then check out Nikki the gardener on Instagram, and I believe she has a YouTube channel too. Yeah, I'll link it for you guys.
Look at this puppy. She's so cute. This is Mia.
Hi, Mia.
The wicked awesome dog. Are you a good girl? She's like, Mom. Oh, hey, I must have missed somebody coming in, shifting some soil, 55. Oh, there you are.
Here, I have mine too.
Oh, look at the cutie.
This is my mom's dog, Lexi.
Oh.
While I'm babysitting her.
So cute.
Your doggy can meet my doggy.
Yep, Mia is usually like front and center in a lot of my lives. And tonight she's just been hanging out and
she's been shy.
Oh,
well, this has been so much fun. Honestly, I've had a lot of fun chatting, and I feel like I could talk gardening all day long. And I hope I haven't bored everybody with just droning on and on about native plants. But I'm totally sold, and I hope that some other people are sold as well. Because honestly, you can start small and have big impacts, and the more you know, the more you'll want to grow. So, yeah, give it a go. And rhyme when you speak.
All right. So, I mean, this has been a really interactive chat. Like everybody's been really like enjoying what's going on. I'm going to post the link up here in case anybody wants to jump up on screen and join in. And don't feel like you have to stay just because I'm still going. Like if you're like, okay, it's been 2 hours, I think it's time for a break. Like you can totally like jump down, but or stay as long as you like. Typically I go about 2 hours, but I think sometimes it's been 2.5. I think one of them ended up being like 3 hours.
Oh my goodness.
I was going to do a half hour like seed starting live on Saturday, and it was 3.5 hours. And I'm like, how did we get here? But
wonderful. People want to talk about gardening when everybody is like-minded, right? Like you just get going. I like, well, let's talk about it all day long.
Yeah.
What else are you going to talk about?
And you really do make connections all over the world. We had 3 different Australians in this chat tonight.
Wow.
Blue Pixie here is over in the UK. We've got people on the, out in California. We've got people down in Georgia. We've got, it's up in Canada. We're everywhere. And we've all got this kind of mostly same kind of feeling.
Same passion for it, right? Like once you get into it, you get into it.
Yeah. And you get really into it.
Yeah. And like that's the thing when the reason why I started doing YouTube to begin with is because like I really want to know. So like any plant that I have, I want to know like where it's most happy and how do I treat it to make it the happiest plant in my garden. And so London is here. Yes.
Mm-hmm. I did say the UK, which
she did. Yeah, anyway, and then I started watching YouTube videos and I was like, I can do this. I'm going to do this. And then I realized that it's not easy. Like it's really hard. And like trying to figure out all the background stuff, that is like a job on its own.
It is.
I had like, I'm using my phone.
I use my phone for every aspect of my YouTube. It's my phone.
Yeah, and then
everything.
I had my like 8-year-old daughter as like my videographer for a while, and man, she got real bored of that real fast. So
Hmm.
I ended up now using a tripod, which is way bebetter. And then I
Hmm.
can take as many takes as I want, and nobody's bored behind it, and sticking a finger in the screen. And yeah, it's not easy. So good on all you guys. There's so many YouTubers
Joe,
here. It's fabulous.
no respect, no respect. Yeah, a lot of us only use our phones. I do
Yeah,
everything. I shoot on my phone. I edit on my phone. I post from my phone. I obsessively
totally.
check my analytics from my phone. Uh,
Oh, I wanted to specify the gardening podcaster if anybody is interested in joining her. So I just took a look for her on Instagram. So it is Nikki Gardner or Gardening with Nikki podcast. Nikki spelled with 2 Ks. So
okay,
check
and
it
I can
out.
say hi.
She's got lots of great stuff, and it's all very much connected to mental health and connecting with that with the gardening. So if you want to chat with her, I'm sure she'd be happy. So send her a message and
Awesome.
tell her I sent you.
Yeah, no, that
Yeah,
would be really cool.
yeah. And
Right.
then
No, yeah, that sounds like a really great discussion, actually.
it is. It's, and I think that most people who are really into gardening really connect to that. We just don't really talk about it that much. And then she is also really big on kind of like breaking the stigma with respect to mental health and just like that in general, regardless of gardening. And so just kind of talking about mental health issues and struggles that we all have, especially during COVID. COVID sucks. Like,
Hmm.
so um
I'm so done with it. I am over it. I
oh
am
yeah,
done. I am done.
right.
Unfortunately, it's not done with us, so we're gonna keep on keeping on.
Yeah, for real,
But
for
I think
real.
we're getting to the endemic stage. But I don't want to get into the ick because people have opinions, and
Yes.
I have opinions, and some opinions may differ. So we're just gonna leave that.
That's a good idea.
But yeah,
Yes.
but it really has had a major effect on like every aspect of life, and and that really messes with your head. Like, I want a party with my friends
Yeah.
so bad.
Yeah.
It's
And to
like,
not
oh,
worry about it and to not be like, "Can I hug you? I don't know. Like, I just wanna hug you.
hmm,
Like, I'm
yeah,
done, you know, having weird interactions, especially like, oh my God, the worst was when it was with our family and everything. And, like
hmm,
when you're like, can I hug my mom? Like, like just the worst, right? So
yeah.
done with it. And hopefully with this new like gardening season comes just a new phase in this, and that we can kind of say goodbye. Like, I feel like we're on the upswing. I don't know.
I
I
hope
feel
so.
like, yeah, I feel like things are getting better. And, in Ontario, things are being lifted just, in the next week or so it's not, everything's not being lifted, like in
Right.
some areas, but
I've
you
got to see if it's even possible for me to travel through Canada. If I wanted to do my Am I Gardener thing, and
hopefully by the
visit
time you're
visit the
ready
feed
to,
store.
yeah. Hopefully by the time you're ready to, it will be fine. I'm planning on
Hmm.
coming down to New York City in May. And so if anybody has any like ideas on like any kind, I know that the High Line has all sorts of native plants all grown through it.
Yes,
So
I really
yeah,
want to do the High Line. My
yeah,
daughter
yeah.
just got accepted to the School of Visual Arts in New York City.
Wonderful.
She's going into
Congrats.
their cartooning program, which is pretty great. So she's really excited. Well, she's still applying to a college in Florida as well, but we're going down to the city in early April to check the place out, and so we're going to take in a Broadway show, like mommy daughter take on the city. It's going to be really nice. Um, and the High Line won't really be doing much the first week of it or first second week of April. Um, but I'm really excited. Like, so if she does go there, I'm going to be making a lot of trips to New York City. So, all right, Ladies Farm is heading out. Thank you for coming in, and hopefully, hopefully your internet is strong enough soon that we can get you in for a chat, and it'll be great.
What was that? That was last week.
Oh no, well, Ladies Farm, I've been wanting to get her on here for to be my
Oh,
guest, but her internet's weird, so we haven't even scheduled her yet.
gotcha, gotcha.
So that we don't know if yeah, when that's gonna work.
In time.
But yeah, so we'll get that at some point.
Well,
Hey, yeah, hey, I will come and see your garden. I will do that. I will come make a video in your garden. I will do all those things. YouTuber road trip,
I love that idea. That's so
right?
cool. Yes, let's do it.
So I figure if I make it like a, 5 or 6 day trip, I can come up and spend some time in various places and not have to rush between, because I'd like to also get up a little bit north. Rochelle could tell me it's either an hour, maybe 2 hours north of Toronto is Artist in the Garden.
Oh,
Bonnie up there, and oh god, her garden is so pretty. I mean, partially because of what she grows, but also how she paints her, like, all those things. Oh, Ladies Farm will go to town if we need to do if we want to do a live. All right. Well, we can work that
yeah,
out.
you
We
should
can work
schedule
that
some
out.
meetups for sure. Well, it is 10 o'clock over here,
Mhm.
and it's about my bedtime soon. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go, but you guys continue, and thank you so much, Danny, for having me. This has been so much fun, and I'm really grateful. And thanks so much for all those people out there who have subscribed. And I hope you follow along. And I'm really looking forward to. There's so many people here. I'm looking forward to
I
connecting with
know.
all of you guys. So thank you so
Yeah.
much.
It'll be great. Well, thank you for coming in. It was so exciting. Like, this was a really, really great conversation. Like,
This was a lot of fun.
normally we're talking about, gardening and all that, but like, this is like a whole topic that I haven't really touched on my channel. And so it was really great to have you in and talk about it.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I'd love to come again sometime.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. So I'm going to go post a link in the chat, but thank you for coming on, and I will see you around. See you around
Yes,
the interwebs.
absolutely. See
All
you.
right.
Thank
Bye
you. Bye,
bye.
everybody.
All right. I am going to copy that link again, and I'm going to go post it in the chat in case anybody wants to come on the panel and hang out for a little bit. It is, yeah, it is late for you over there. I know, Joe. Wasn't that great? She was fantastic. Like, full of so much information, and it's like, I mean, we all want pollinators, but we really need to be encouraging the native pollinators that are, designed to do the job. So, and it just, for the whole ecosystem in general, it's really great. So, I think we got her up to, uh, 454 subs. Let's take a look now. 457. That's awesome. Oh, still sleeping. Yeah, I knew I knew it wasn't Tammy. Oh no, my phone's. Oh, okay, hold on. My hips. Ah, getting old, people. Getting old. Not recommended. Well, I mean, okay, all right. Recommended in the sense that it's better than the alternative to not getting old. Um, yeah, but that was really fun. And now I don't know quite what to do now, because I still have 21 people here hanging out, and I'm like, well, what topic can we go on? Because I can't tell you what came in the mail yet, because that's going to be a video surprise. Two things I got that are very exciting. I know Black's Tropical Homestead knows what one of them is, because they can tell from the video, or they can tell from the thumbnail. But I've got that mail call coming tomorrow. I'll have another mail call probably over the weekend. Shed Wars video will pop up on Saturday. Let's see. Black Tropical Homestead, that was really fun. Bare Bones Living just subscribed. So we've got 458. That's very exciting. We got her 18 subscribers tonight. So she just needs another 42, and she will have she'll have her 500 subscribers. She can get her community tab. That'll be exciting. I'll pop her up on my community tab tomorrow just to see if we can get some help with that. My throat is so like, so the thing that I forgot about moving back to this house is we have forced hot air and it gets so dry in here at night. So I wake up in the morning and my throat is just on fire every morning. And I've got a humidifier, and so it's pouring out vapor into the room, but it's still ugh. Yes, I am doing Shed Wars, and I've got to be really careful on how I calculate everything because I want to make sure I'm staying within the rules. Because I have 3 different garden spaces, 2 of them in other people's yards, and I'm sharing a lot of what I'm growing. So there's going to be, I'm going to have to make sure I get over there to weigh, or have my, have my friends weigh before they cook with stuff. What's the sharing weight? What's the weight of the stuff that I am taking home for me and my household? So that I'm calculating right to be within the rules of Shed Wars. Because obviously we all want to play by the rules. But my entry video has got a little bit of Ann Dale flavor, where I'm coming out, boom. Uh, and then I back it off and I'm like, it's just having fun. Which is kind of the whole point, is just to have fun and have a good time and teach people how to grow things. You've got to grow one. I'm not making a list of all the rules. I will refer people back to Homestead Aquarius's rules video, but my hair keeps falling in my face. So yeah. So as far as like, you have to grow one vegetable in a container, and everything I've got, I'm putting in ground in raised beds. But I figured in a year or 2, I'll be moving to my own property. Oh, please, oh, please, oh, please. I'll be moving to my own property. So, one of the very first things that I'd want to do is establish those perennial vegetables. Like, I want to grow asparagus so bad, but it takes 3 years before you can harvest it, because if you start harvesting it the first year and all that, you're just going to get tiny little things, and it's not going to establish a really good root system. And so it's just not going to, you've got to let it go and let it grow on its own for a few years and really get established. So I figure, what if I get one of those big plastic horse water buckets that have the really heavy duty rope handles and all of that? So I can get a big thing. I can fill it full of full of soil, and I can start my asparagus in that. And then when I move out to my homestead, well, big heavy rope handles, I can move that and I can take it out and plant it where my asparagus patch will be when I finally have my little homestead. So that is kind of what I'm going to do for that. I saw somebody ask, what is Shed Wars? Oh, here we go. So Shed Wars is a competition run every year. I think this is the 3rd year, run by the channels Will It Grow and Homestead Aquarius, and they draft into all the entries into 2 teams, and it's basically about trying to grow as much food as you possibly can for your family. And there's a couple of ways, I guess, to so I guess they take, I'm not sure of how all of it works. This is my first year in Shed Wars. They take the total weight from each team, and I think that's how they determine the winner. There's also like little side prizes, like the sharing weight. So like people, like the channel Altruistic Homestead, they grow a lot of food, and then they run a soup kitchen. So a lot of what they grow goes into that. That would be sharing weight. Like the cannon garden that I'm growing, growing all those tomatoes for sauce. We'll weigh the tomatoes. Half of them are mine, half of them are hers. She'll process them into sauce. So she'll take half, I'll take half. So half of the weight of those tomatoes goes to my, you know, general total, and then half of it goes to my sharing total. Which is how I think it's supposed to work. I mentioned that on Homestead Aquarius, and that seems to, he seemed to confirm that. So again, as far as any rules of Shed Wars, refer back to Homestead Aquarius. He's got all the rules. Yeah, so it's just one of the requirements too is that you have to do a certain amount of videos. I think it's like 2 per month that's teaching something about gardening. So it's not just getting yourself up and growing as much as you can for your family. It's about teaching the world at large about how to garden. So it's getting information out there. So it's a really great community. It's also a great way to get some visibility on your channel, but it's really the fun of it. And so I've got to have my entry video in before March 5th, but that's fine. It's already shot. I'll have it edited and posted up this weekend. But then it starts on the spring equinox and ends on the fall equinox, and for the northern hemisphere. And then I think it flips, and they also do a version for the southern hemisphere too. So it's really a worldwide thing at this point. So it's really cool. Tanya A is thinking about starting a channel to create gardening support, find new friends, but you're camera shy. Any tips? I was horrendously camera shy for my first videos. Like, I was like, and it took me forever to edit them, and I had ums every other word, and I still say a lot, but I'm a lot more conscious of it now. You see how fluid and everything that I am now at this point? It's taken me a year to do that, and even my first lives were like, what do I talk about? What do I talk about? So it's really, you've just got to do it. And then the comfort comes over time, especially when you're making friends. Cause like, I don't feel like I'm talking to, you know, a YouTube audience right now. I'm talking to all my garden buddies. So it really comes a lot easier. You saw when Brandy left, I was like, geez, what do I even have to talk about? And now here I am. I'm just, it doesn't stop. You just got to do it. I never thought I would start a YouTube channel. This was never something I planned on doing. It's just that I used to take a million pictures of my porch garden, and I would post them on Facebook, and I would start like typing captions for, this is what I did, and this is what I'm doing, and this is how it's going, and all of that. And so many of my friends were commenting on it and starting to follow it, and then sending me garden questions, like somehow I'd been a garden savant all this time and they just noticed it. And it's really, no, I just started growing all these things, and I've been researching and watching all the MI Gardener videos. And then I started taking some videos because that was a little easier, and it started to feel like, okay, this is kind of fun. And I still didn't think about starting a YouTube channel at all. And I think I was watching a Roots and Refuge video, and you know, I talk about them a lot because like Jess is like life goals. Um, um, yeah, and so on Roots and Refuge, she was talking about how she never thought that she would have the life she has, that she would have the farm she has, like the things she dreamed about her whole life, and that YouTube made it possible. And the more I thought about it for the rest of that next week, I'm like, well, maybe instead of taking pictures of my garden and keeping my record that way and sharing it with my friends that way, maybe I should start a YouTube channel. Maybe I could follow that path. Maybe I could get it to where, because of YouTube, I have my dream too. So that's how this was born. Like within a week, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. And I just did it. And here I am. And I feel like I'm starting to gain momentum. It's pretty great. Oh, that's a good idea too. Black's Tropical Homestead. You can film without showing yourself. Smita's Fresh from My Garden, Kitchen Garden Therapy, all of their videos are voiceovers. So they have lots of pictures and video footage of their garden, of the things that they're doing, things that they've made, and they're just talking in a voiceover. Also, I didn't know how to, you don't have to know how to edit videos to get started with this. My first couple videos were one shots, and then I learned how to edit. I found an app and just started playing with it. And now I've learned how to do all sorts of cool tricks. Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener, you probably left a while ago at this point because I haven't been following down the chat, but nice to see you. Thank you so much for coming in and hanging out, and I'll see you soon. Hey, Man Acre Farms, I did not see you. Hello, hello, hello. Let's see. Hey, Raindrop Life. Oh, Joe's gonna come back. Dreamweavers Haven Homestead. Oh my goodness. Victoria, I wanted to see your live yesterday, and Tuesday nights is when Team That Sauce for the MIG Grow Off meets. So I had to be with my people, but as the MIG Grow Off winds down, I should be able to get in there and come hang out in your lives. Let's see. You have fabric planters because you don't want to do permanent things. Yep, because you don't own the property. Change out the ones by the fence for something. Yeah, some of those fabric planters, they don't hold up. Let's see. Pumped for Shed Wars. I am very excited. I can't wait to put that video out. I've got to finish all the stuff for editing and get it out this weekend. Hey, Life with Blinda and Chuck. How are you doing? I popped up on Chuck's live yesterday for a couple of minutes, and that was really fun. You know what? I should get Blinda and Chuck up here. Hey, everybody in the chat who has not already been up here as a guest, because I know I had Dreamweavers Haven Homestead a few weeks ago. I need more people on my list. Hey, Belly Acres is here too. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, confidence is always a work in progress. Oh, God, the wind is so annoying. I actually figured out that I could like rubber band a sock, like the like toe of a sock, like an old sock. If I rubber band the toe of an old sock around the edge of my phone, it cuts down on that wind noise. Tips from Shifting Some Soil 55, still camera shy. Even I am sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, oh God, I don't know how to say any of this. And yeah, you should go for it. I'm telling you right now, you should go for it. Do it. Do it. Yep, that's the best way to get comfortable is just do it anyway. Let's see. Doing your very first live tomorrow. Hey, tell me what time your live is, and I will share it out on my I'll share a link out on my community page tomorrow. Oh, beautiful, sunny and 70. Oh, I'm so jelly. So many channels having a hard time keeping up. That's the thing is once you get to a certain point, it's hard to watch the channels of everybody that follows you and watches you because if you did, it's a full-time job without sleep. So I try to catch what I can when I can and help out where I can. Jess is definitely life goals. That's why I can't wait. I cannot wait for HOA this year. It's going to be my first time going. Oh, okay, there we go. The Hood said, we'll see you in October. Yes. You're very welcome. I hope I did Shed Wars explanation justice. Homesteading in the Hood doesn't show themselves either. That's right. That's right. Yeah, Heather Lynn started actually making videos after we gave her a little pep talk. So, you know, I'm an enabler. Hang out with me long enough and I will convince you to believe in yourself. You've only been on YouTube since December. So yeah, it really, it does get easy. And honestly, I wouldn't have thought you'd only been here since December because you just seem so just here for it. So yeah, I did very little editing in the beginning and I've gotten much better. Like my Shed Wars video may be a triumph for me right now. The first like 25 seconds, I'm really proud of. So I know I keep saying that. Um, I keep saying like and teasing this Shed Wars video. So I'm hoping you all are there and watching the premiere. I think I'm going to try to have it like Saturday afternoon. Let's see. You really don't have a clue how to edit? Oh man, I use KineMaster. It's on my phone. It's super easy. Haha, that sauce. Oh, pretzels. Yeah, those looked so good in the thumbnail. Or I saw something you were talking about it. You have to leave cuss words in. Carrie. Oh, yes. All I use is an Android phone too. I don't use anything. Okay, I have gotten a little fancy because tonight I am using for the very first time a ring light. Ooh. So I have a ring light tripod now and my regular tripod. But everything I do it all from my phone. I shoot on my phone, I edit on my phone, I upload on my phone, and I obsessively check my analytics from my phone. So I really don't have anything else high tech. I did just get a microphone. I just haven't um, I haven't played with it very much yet or at all. So I've got to test it out in a, and then see if I can shoot a video with it and see how that works. And hopefully it'll cut down on some of the airplane noise. Let's see. Yeah, but you know what? It's you. It just feels like you and we're getting to hang out and talk with you. So yeah. Let's see. 7:30 Central Standard. Yeah, so for me that would be 8:30. And that's actually great because it's a nice little thing like right before Bland's uh Bland's goes live with theirs. As of right now, Roots and Refuge is not listed for this year. Yeah, I'm really hoping they make it out. I'm crossing my fingers, but I think I've got enough people on my list of people that I want to see and would love to meet that I'm excited about that. They didn't go to HOA next year. I think they did say that they were going to go this year. Um, they did say they were going to go this year, so hopefully that ends up being something that happens. Yeah. So people who know me in real life are like, you have such a clean way of talking when you're on your YouTube channel because I swear like, yeah. If you watch my blooper reel, there's actually a point where I literally just go, and I put a car horn over it, just a little sound effect. You're on a laptop in a cell, and you have to go back and see what app I said. It's called, I think it's pronounced KineMaster. It's KineMaster, and it's $29 a year. But for $29, you get a lot of really good features, music and everything that you can add under it. And I've found some really cool stuff. So, um, yeah, I call myself a techno peasant because like just the fact that I now have a microphone, now I've got to figure out how to use it. And I don't know if that's really going to work out very well. Um, come across like a decent Southern belle. Okay, not for nothing. Ann Dale is the sweetest, most like stereotypical Southern lady. I'm just a sweet Southern flower. Um, and I have a feeling that if you met her in person, she'd swear a blue streak with a certain polished air. But yeah. Um, see, they may just visit it so it won't be listed. That's true. That's true. They might not be like a featured guest or something like that, but they may be going. Um, See, never know when he'll get home. Yeah, that's true. Last year you met Justin Rhodes off grid with Doug and Stacy Whitehall on the wow. I think maybe I was looking at the Okie gathering that's like next month or something like that with the their hand hewn farms was there and doing all sorts of like butchering classes and that was cool. Let's see. My mom called after my Friday Night Live. She said, "Who called me a?" Oh, oh my goodness, that's terrible. Oh my goodness. Blacks does have class. Uh, yes, yeah, I think so too. Like she's got a little gangster in her. It's just, oh my goodness, she is the sweetest, funniest woman. All right, bye, Heather. I'll talk to you soon. I'll let you know when those onions start popping up because I did plant a 6 cell flat for you. So, yeah. So there's just like I'm a techno peasant. I'm afraid to like have to go and learn other technologies and all that stuff, and it's just so I'm gonna have to play around with that microphone before I actually use it in any sort of video. So that's gonna be interesting. Yeah, I may start getting some drone footage in one of the gardens, the family garden. He has a drone and he likes to use it for looking at stuff. So he may do some drone footage of the garden, which would be really cool. Um, yeah, I'll probably like wrap this up pretty soon because yeah, it's gonna be 2.5 hours and it's kind of hanging out. Yeah, a lot of my friends, not many of my friends garden, and some of them support my channel. Like I know one of them ran my playlist today, which was really nice. Because I think when YouTube finally decides to update, I will be down to only needing 1,000 hours. So that'll be great. Yes, we will do some collaboration videos. We'll do a couple of those. I am going to need some strawberry plants because the thing that I got in the mail today, that I'm so like over the moon excited for, I need some strawberry plants for it. Can you guess what I got? Um, yeah, this community just bands together and just so we can blab about gardening for 2.5 hours like we have now, or when I did my pop-up live that I thought was going to be half an hour, 45 minutes or so while I was starting some seeds, and 3.5 hours later, I'm still going with a dry throat, going, I gotta stop now because I can't talk. Um, you know, and see, here we go. So all of that, like, we were just going nonstop talking about gardening and all of that. Yeah, 1,000,000 strawberry plants for both of us. Yes. Oh, somebody knows it. Somebody knows it. I am so excited. All right, Bare Bones Living, it was so great to see you here in my live. And yeah, I will go to your channel. I'll find it. I'll put it out on my community tab tomorrow afternoon and see if we can get some more people to come on into your live. So it was great to see you. I'll tell you when I found that small YouTubers Facebook group, small YouTube homesteaders Facebook group, found a lot of great channels in there. And I think I've barely scratched the surface of it because there's like, I don't know, 1,300 people in there. And they're all just out there doing this thing. And I can't wait to join them. I mean, I'm doing the gardening thing. One thing I got to do, I think tomorrow, I'm measuring this yard. My dad says that there is not enough room here for the city to allow us to have chickens. And I'm pretty sure, because I read up on this, and it's must be 25 feet from every dwelling and 50 feet from the road. And I'm 99% sure that we got that. So I think I can have a pair of chickens, maybe 3. Let's see. What are we seeing? Let's see. Let me take a look. 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 There's such a thing as what? I missed something somewhere. Call them comfort pets. Emotional support animals. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I've got 25-foot clearance from any house for the structure, and I could have just a little. Yeah, I would like some chickies. I don't need a lot of them. I don't eat a lot of eggs, but it would be nice. Just one more little checkbox of food security. I do not hold with all the conspiracy theories and all of that, but it's very clear that there are some issues out there that are holding things up and making certain foods less scarce. So you're in the suburbs, they allow 15 chickens for every 100 square feet of property with 8-foot clearance, and there's no restrictions on roosters. Oh, I wish. They are very, I am not zoned, even if I had enough space, I'm not zoned for anything like goats, or I couldn't have a pig. 21 eggs a week is perfect. I get a couple eggs for breakfast. I'm good. I'm a happy camper. And if I don't have eggs for breakfast, if I have some oatmeal or something, well, I have something to cook with. So, and they hold for a while. So that works for me. My parents downstairs, they'll take my extra chickens. You have 17 chickens and 12 rabbits, and the neighbors had no clue. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, I think 2 or 3 chickens would be just perfect. And I mean, we have a small yard comparatively. I want to say this is like I don't know, maybe 10,000 square foot lot, but that doesn't feel right either. We have a tenth of an acre, put it that way. That much I know. We have a tenth of an acre. It's very small and it's very city. I mean, not like big city. It's not like Boston big city, but we've got a 3-lane road out in front of the house. So it's, yeah, so it's not, we're definitely not rural at all. Turning 2 of my raised beds into a cattle panel hoop house this year. Yes, I actually am doing a video on that. Instead of the 16-foot cattle panels that you usually see, I like to get 8-foot cattle panels, and then I'll lash them together at the top with zip ties so that in the early season and the late season, I can actually take those, bend them over the beds the other way, and then cover them with greenhouse fabric. And that becomes 2 low tunnels. So that can really help extend the early season, so I can get my lettuce out there and planted, my kales and things like that. I can go put that right out. And then as things start winding down, I can put the greenhouse fabric back on them. The greenhouse plastic back on them to extend the season into the winter. And my goal for next year is to grow kale through an entire New England winter using those low tunnels. So we're going to see how that works. I think I'll probably be getting a lot of 1-gallon milk jugs, filling them with water, painting them black, putting them down the center of the the low tunnel so that the heat comes in, all the sunlight and everything comes in, heats those up, and then you've got a whole row of little, so I'm going to see if that helps. I want to get really creative with it. Let's see. Get 4, Tractor Supply limit is 4. Chicken math is a thing. What did they say on Roots and Refuge? It starts with chicken math, and then quickly turns to calculus. But we definitely cannot have a cow here. 22 on a quarter acre. Yeah. Have to start with 6 chicks here. Yeah, I think I really need like 3, 4 at the absolute most. And we can't have roos. No roosters. Got 10 last year, 6 were hens, and 4 roos. Oh, there we go. Ooh, a green stalk grow off. Ooh. You know what? Can I steal that? I think maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do a green stalk grow off, and let's see how crazy people can get with their green stalks. I mean, honestly, I'm not going to go nuts with my green stalk. I just want it for strawberries and herbs. That's my plan. Strawberries and herbs. But I've seen people growing tomatoes in them, bush beans, all that crazy stuff. I'm about to start a new nanny job because I lost my job last week, and don't worry because I've got everything, I think I've got everything lined up for the new job. But there's a 3-year-old little girl, and I think the mom has basically said, "Oh, whatever you want to do out there with gardening, like go for it. Let her grow her own little garden," which is great because I was going to do that already with the girls that I was already nannying for. But their mom, she's 6 months pregnant. She's commuting into Boston. It's like 45 minutes commute or to an hour commute, like every day, getting up at 5, and she's 6 months pregnant and has 3 kids when I leave. And so she's just like, you know what? I don't have to work, so I'm not gonna right now. And so, but they're the most awesome people. But we were gonna grow a whole garden in there with their little kids, and so now I'm just gonna do that with the new one. I'm gonna do that thing that you see on Pinterest where you get like a whole bunch of sticks and tie them into a teepee, and then have plants grow up them. So I'm gonna grow some snap peas, pole beans, Malabar spinach. So it's just going to weave through and make a whole edible little play tent. And that's going to be really cool. Let's see. Lots of luck into both of us. Yeah. See, that would be so cool. Yeah. I mean, if you start a channel, we can do it as a collab. We can collaborate. We can do a video. And like, if you shoot something and you send it to me, I can edit it all together into one video, and we can both put it out on our channels. So we do a collab video. We both get some watch time. We both get and we get this thing going. Oh, a gnome fairy food garden. Oh, that's so cute. Oh. Yeah. See, here's the thing though, that family, they're friends of mine. So now it's actually going to be kind of cool because I can go over and visit and just hang out, and be able to actually hang out and talk to their mom because she's a friend of mine, and it'll be really nice. And I'm still going to bring over some plants. Like, I told them that there are sunflowers out there that will grow taller than their dad. And they're like, no way. And they got super excited. So I'm still going to bring them some strawberries, some flowers, some sunflower starts, and all of that so that they can grow. And so they're dear friends. So none of that's going to change. It's just we're not going to grow the big garden because their mom and dad they don't have the time or energy to keep up after that, if I'm not there to help them with it. Oh, oh, if Rocky comes back, he won't be coming home again. Hey, you got to protect your animals. It stinks, but gotta go. We'll watch the replay. Thank you, my raindrop life. It was so great having you in here. Bye bye. Yeah. So, yeah, Tanya A. We will connect. If you want to send me an email at wickedawesomegardening@gmail.com, and we can talk about that, and we can see about maybe that can help kick off your channel. And that could be very fun. If you want to shoot something, and we'll talk about what we could do for the channel. I mean, like, what we could do for a challenge, and you can shoot something and I'll even edit it so that you don't have to worry about that part. And then we both have, yeah, that could be really cool and really kick off your channel with a boom. Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited. Like, the cat's out of the bag. I got a green stalk. I'd been wanting to get one for a while. It's just I didn't have the money to spend, but I had just closed a real estate deal. I'm also a real estate agent, for those who don't know. I had closed a deal and helped my little brother buy a condo. Yes, my email again, it's wickedawesomegardening@gmail.com. So it's just my channel at gmail.com. And if you forget, it's in my about section for my, yeah. Yeah, I gotta do so. I am very bad with emails and all of that, but I will get to things. This is going to be so fun. I'm going to get to like see all you guys in the fall. It's going to be great. Yeah, like Black's Tropical Homestead, like Cherie was saying, it's going to be Content City. Yeah, but I had some extra money after closing a deal on a condo for my baby brother, and I thought my original intention was to schedule to book my vacation, but I forgot. I got all excited about having all that money, and I said, oh, I'm going to pay $3,000 to my car loan. And so I did that, and I went, oh, I forgot to book my vacation, and now I don't have the money. Well, dang it. Well, okay, having my car paid off in July is going to be just as good as going on vacation in July. So I'll just let that go. Oh, there it goes again. There is that stink bug. For those of you who weren't here earlier, there is a stink bug in my room, and it keeps coming and flying about, and I'm gonna get it. It's freaking me out. This is gonna dive bomb into my hair. It's like a bat. Okay, it seems to have settled somewhere again. My dog alerts me every time it starts flying around because she's like intent on catching it. Yeah, so I said, well, I'm going to treat myself anyway. I deserve at least to get something. If I'm not going on vacation, then I at least should treat myself to something. And then, of course, I turn on Roots and Refuge, Jess again, throwing things in my life, said that they were doing a Valentine's sale. So I used her discount code plus the sale, got myself a 7-tier leaf planter, like with the spinny base and everything. So, yeah, so I'm very excited. It came yesterday, and I'm going to do my mail call video, and I'm going to do a video putting it together and planting it out and all that fun stuff. Hello, African Dreaming, or African Dreamin'. Hello, 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 and good morning. What time is it over there? Yeah. Now, I guess my vacation this year is just going to be HOA. That's going to be my vacation. My plan is to get down into the area the day before, so that I can get all, set up and start meeting people. So I'm probably going to be leaving here up in Massachusetts probably in the very, 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 very early morning, because it's a 10-hour drive. So I'll probably sleep all day the day before, drive down, get all set up, and just kind of have some fun and explore the area. Because another thing is Virginia is on my list of potential places to move. So I definitely want to check out, kind of the whole general area down there. So 6:44 in the AM. So you just got up, most likely, I'm assuming. You could just be about to go to bed after working a night shift. I don't know. Um, okay, so let's add that to our live stream. Where exactly in the world are you? Because that is a very large continent to guess on. But we had 3 channels here tonight from Australia. We had 2 channels up in the UK. We had, various places all over the US. We had people from Canada, and I'd love to know where else we're reaching, which is exciting. And I'm going to have to go check out your channel because I want to see different things about growing all over the world. Let's see. Yeah, that's what you're doing. You're going the day before. Yeah, I'll probably stay till Sunday. Visit Polyface Farm. And you're also looking about possibly moving to Virginia. Yeah, it seems like a kind of nice in between. Like it's not going to be horrendously far from my family and friends in Massachusetts and my daughter who will potentially be in college in New York City. Email's been sent. Fabulous. We will talk. Yeah, so it's not going to be horrendously far. Like if I need to, I can drive it in a day. But it's going to be warmer and hopefully less expensive. We'll see. We will see. But yeah, I'd like to definitely get down there and kind of explore around Tanzania. Oh, there we go. Let's see. Hey, Homestead Aquarius, we were talking about Shed Wars earlier. Barebones Homestead was asking, what's Shed Wars? So we were talking about it. My video, hold on, I gotta spam her in there. Actually, Cherie, can you grab that? I'll grab it from here in StreamYard, but if you're able to just nip that in the bud over there. I think it's already gone. Yes, hopefully. I think so. Yep. Okay. Bye-bye. There we go. Yeah, so we were just talking about StreamYard and how we were just talking about Shed Wars and yeah, I got it. Okay. Yeah, kind of explaining how it was. And my video should be out either Saturday or Sunday. I'm not sure on the timing on that, but I'm really excited about my editing for the first 30 seconds or so of that video. And then the rest of it's kind of hodgepodge, but hopefully I can make it coherent. I'm growing in 3 different garden spaces this year, so it gets a little mixed up. Let's see. You got to redo, yeah. Like I said, try taking the heel of an old sock and using an elastic to keep it around your phone. Hey, F.R. Humphrey. Every time I talk about, like, I think I'm probably going to wrap it up to get soon. I get like 5 new people pop in. This has been a really fun stream. Like, we spent the first 2 hours talking about native plants and the benefits with a channel called the Suburban Gardenista. And we have been hoping to get her up to, we'd like to get her up to 500 subscribers, but I knew it wasn't going to happen on tonight's live. But we managed to get her from 440 up to 459. And she's got some really great informative videos there on native plants, the benefits of having native plants in your gardens and all of that. It's really great. However, I am getting to that point now where my throat is giving out. My voice is definitely starting to struggle here. So, anybody else have anything they want to say? I think I'm probably going to wrap it up. Yeah, I keep saying these are going to be 2-hour live streams, and then I end up going for 3. But yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, let's see who came in. We got F.R. Humphrey and Homestead Aquarius came in. It's been a great night. I think I hit a record for the amount of people that I've had in my chat, in my live streams ever tonight. I think at one point I had 29 people. I don't know how many likes I currently have or what, but this was really fun. And hopefully I can have some of you guys on for some of my future lives. Like I don't have a guest set up for next week. So if anybody wants to put their hand up and be my guest next week, that would be pretty great. Or at any point in the next, month. I think we got 43 thumbs up. That's pretty awesome. Woohoo! Yeah, and I think the most I've ever had in a chat was tonight, and I think it was 29 people is where we topped out, unless I missed something. So, if there's anything you've learned about live streaming, then they always go longer than expected. Replay crew. Black's Tropical Homestead, you want to be my guest next week? We will blow that out of the water there. I think you guys coming on will have a very, very, very fun, lively conversation. And we can talk about that thing that's coming on my we can talk about that thing that's coming in my mail call tomorrow. Yeah, all right. So I will send you a message on Instagram and we'll talk about that and set it up. Tanya A, I will definitely get you on my list. I like to, before I'd have you as a guest, I'd like to have you have, some videos first, if you're starting a channel. But we should do that collaboration and then I'll have you on as my guest. And we can talk about the collab and the Greenstock challenge, which would be pretty great. So we will talk about that. Yeah, we can definitely talk about that in email and all of that. So yay! As I'm like repeating myself and thinking we'll have to get you two up here, get the Hoodstead on my channel for a night. I think let's see. At some point, I'm probably gonna have Country Mama Musings. Yes, native plants. It was so cool. She's so well informed. It was such a wonderful discussion and she had so much information to share. It was really, really great having her here. So hopefully we'll have her back, just to come pop up on the panel every once in a while. I see that face. No. Someday. These lives are fun. I never really thought that I'd have fun doing a live stream, but like it's a blast. It's a blast. All right, I am going to sign off because I'm dying. And it's also just about 11 o'clock, so I got to go to bed. But guys, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me tonight. It was really fun. Our guest, Brandy from the Suburban Gardenista, if you are not subscribed to her channel, go ahead and check it out. Like I said, I think we got her almost 20. Yep, we got her 20 subscribers tonight. You're going to sing off. I don't know what to sing. I don't know what to sing. Ugh. Like, I don't know. I gotta find a something. And the inspiration hasn't hit me yet. Oh God, look at you guys. You're gonna hit me with all of this stuff. I don't know what, I gotta find, I don't know. Bye Bye is a song. Okay, you know what? That actually just made me. So right now, my theater company, my theater company's name, and this was a genius move from me thinking of this name. My theater company is called Dramatically Incorrect because that's just what we are. We do things like Rocky Horror Picture Show. And, right now we're doing Cruel Intentions, the 90s musical. So it's a whole bunch of, basically my high school soundtrack. So one of the songs is Bye 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 with from the Backstreet Boys. So I guess, yeah, maybe I'll just use that. Um, yeah, I don't know. Oh God, Happy Trails. All right. I don't know. Do I know all the words to that? I don't know. I know this. I know the show, The Bear in the Big Blue House, but I don't know the goodbye song. I don't. Oh no. I don't know. No, I don't know it. I mean, I know I've seen the show. I had kids um around that time, but I don't know it. I don't know. I could just do the end of the Backstreet Boys. Bye bye bye. Yeah. Um I did enough singing in my mail call video from yesterday. Yeah, but there's another verse after that. It's happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you something something something. Yes, and that's the thing is I got to think I only know that one little part Bye Bye Blackbird. I don't know the whole song. It's terrible, right? Like I'm supposed to be a performer. um Goodness. I should have a goodbye song. I just can't think of it. I can't think of it. Yeah, I have to sing every video and every live. But it doesn't fit in every video. I don't know. It comes up spontaneously. Like I did Scarborough Fair and that was fun and my voice cracked and that was the best take of 4. So Google, girl. Yeah, but my phone is what I'm using for StreamYard. If I go to Google, it's going to kill my StreamYard feed. All right, all right. I guess I'll just do the sound. I was going to say I did the sound and music thing a few nights ago or a few lives ago, so I'll use that again. Why not? All right. Okay. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, good night. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Bye bye.